Yes, the country smiling again. Never again we'll ever experience that shame. Yeah, labor working, labor working, labor working, labor working. Change, real change. For years we couldn't fly out of the sunset. No, anytime it's Liat or Learjet, it's change, real change. West Indies cricket was only television. Now we see them live in the stadium. That is change, real change. The top hotels were only 4. Now we add a diamond from Morocco. That is change, real change. We used to host only at Calvary Hotel, but we stayed house all summer as well. That is change, real change. High rents, rapine and confusion till Scarrow's housing revolution. That is change. That is change. Labor working, 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 labor working.
Uh-huh. Everybody! Jala, Jala, we shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. They could come with propaganda, all their lies and all the slander, try to mislead the people with their hate and all their evil. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The best thing that happened to this country is Garrett and the Labour Party. We wanna bring to bankruptcy. Now have a growth in the economy. Got a leader with endless vision, youthfulness and dedication. Suspect that things would be tight. Went to China on the next flight. Cuba and Venezuela. What a brilliant leader. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. They could come with propaganda, all their lies and their slander, try to mislead my people with their hate and evil. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Chance up. Jala, no question, Jala, no question, Jala, no question, Jala. Everybody, put up something red, wave it over your head. Jala, all of them forget the curry people. Labour stepping, they want to cause struggle. For the Kalinagos have no respect, exploiting them on the water project. Supreme Scotland used to borrow to Labour to build their seawall. Giro, they would have to back it. Water tank on Labour fix it. Whether you teach a leader, elder, must give credit to Labour. You better believe it. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Look out for we 5-star hotel, highway to Posse as well. Seaport reconstruction, rosary modification. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Chance up. Jala, look Some will never see the importance to give up poor people assistance. So they have a problem with the clinic. Measures say they want to block it. Imagine they get in office, what would be their wicked practice? It's for people who put you there. At all time you got to show you care. The party in a working mood, don't interrupt that move. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The government helping squatters to get their land and quarters, helping people. Some of you have an issue. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. You better know who's your land, you better stay who's your land, you better stay who's your land. Everybody! Hey! Raise up something head, wave that over your head. Indeed, it is first time in our history. People get medical for free. 18 and under and over 65. You shall never be deprived. Big focus on human resource, people well-being's compass, universal education, scholarship and transportation. What a selfless party would impress our country. Yeah. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Oh, but what a brilliant stadium. The bridge and road all around, improvement on all road networks. Airport beauty is no joke. We shall not be. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Everybody! Cha-cha, Nujala, 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 Nujala. Put up something head, rip it over your head. Hey, hey, everybody, Nujala, 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 Nujala. Hey, not white, not red, not yellow, not blue. Hey, let me see you shoot. Let me see you shoot. Show me how well you do. Nujala, Nujala. Raise up the red. Wave it over your head. Everybody! Nujala, Nujala. Nujala, Nujala. Everybody! Nujala.
Yes. What a track there. I'm telling you, Nujala Nuke Westy. Want to say a special good evening to you wherever you are joining us this evening on a Saturday evening right here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. It is the 18th day, yes, of June 2022. Want to say a special good evening to our political leader and the Prime Minister, Dr. Skerritt family, and to all of the ministers of government and to all of the folks who are, of course, over the police officers and fire officers and the many citizens who have all joined in the search for this child who, of course, was allegedly kidnapped, and the work continued. We did get some news today, and yes, we will play something for you coming from the Commissioner. Deputy Commissioner of Police there. But I want to say a special good evening to you and welcome all the folks who are joining us on the Kyrie FM Facebook page. A special good evening to you, and want to shout out the many listeners. Maflossi, good evening. Ostel, good evening to you. And Annette Bates, good evening. Want to shout out Mr. Monroe up there in Bellevue, good evening to you, sir. And Mr. Moise. And all the folks in the East Coast of Dominica who are joining us, Desi and family, Mr. Evelyn and Mr. Barron, good evening. to the Etienne family. Also want to shout out to the northern part of the island, especially big up to all the folks in Cottage and Thibault and Benz, Ansdime, Penville Vegas. Good evening to you in Portsmouth and Georgetown. All the good folks in Collyhogue, good evening. And of course, St. Joseph and Kenfield, Massac, Maho, good evening to Omer and Tessa and DJ Boons, and of course, Mrs. Tavernier. All the good folks who are joining us wherever you are listening to the sound of Kyrie FM. Good evening to you. As we begin tonight's program, before I entertain your calls, as you know, the gentleman that they were searching for was, today captured. Unfortunately, the news came around that he died earlier on today. I want to play something for you. Let's hear the statement by the police in relation to this particular matter there.
The search for Kenisha Etienne by the police has been relentless from the day she was abducted from her home by Kian Alexander on the 7th of June 2022. At about 3:15 p.m. on the 18th of June 2022, while searching in the Brook Hill estate, a police patrol team encountered Kian armed with a cutlass about 3 feet long. The police attempted to apprehend him. He charged at the police with a cutlass. The police took action to subdue him by shooting at his legs. The police took immediate action to render first aid. During that time, he said certain things to the police as to the possible whereabouts of Kenisha Etienne. As a result, the search has been intensified in the area to find Kenisha Etienne. The ambulance and the district medical officer were summoned, and he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. We are soliciting all able-bodied people to assist the police with the search for Kenisha Etienne. I wish to commend all the officers and members of the public who have been relentless in searching for Kenisha. We also wish to commend the public for the trust and confidence in the police. Our main focus has been and remains the safe return of Kenisha Etienne to her family. Thank you.
Yes, of course, this was the Deputy Commissioner of Police there, Mr. Lincoln Corbett, there, apparently appealing to the public. I want to play that again for you. Let's listen again. Yeah.
The search for Kenisha Etienne by the police has been relentless from the day she was abducted from her home by Kian Alexander on the 7th of June 2022. At about 3:15 p.m. on the 18th of June 2022, while searching in the Brook Hill estate, a police patrol team encountered Kian armed with a cutlass about 3 feet long. The police attempted to apprehend him. He charged at the police with a cutlass. The police took action to subdue him by shooting at his legs. The police took immediate action to render first aid. During that time, he said certain things to the police as to the possible whereabouts of Kenisha Etienne. As a result, the search has been intensified in the area to find Kenisha Etienne. The ambulance and the district medical officer were summoned, and he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. We are soliciting all able-bodied people to assist the police with the search for Kenisha Etienne. I wish to commend all the officers and members of the public who have been relentless in searching for Kenisha. We also wish to commend the public for the trust and confidence in the police. Our main focus has been and remains the safe return of Kenisha Etienne to her family. Thank you.
Yes, of course, again, as I just said, this again is the Deputy Commissioner of Police there, Mr. Lincoln Corbett there, making an appeal and soliciting the support of the members of the public, all able person, in joining in assisting with the continued search right now for this child who is still missing, as you heard from the Commissioner of Police there. The young man in question, has actually died due to the shooting that took place earlier on. Of course, he was, as many people know, he was on the run. And it's been 10 days and counting now since he's been searched for. You heard the Deputy Commissioner of Police there. He charged at the police with a very long cutlass, something that no doubt one would expect that would have happened. And so you can see why, again, the police needed to really deal with this matter, and in particularly dealing with this guy in question. And because earlier on we would have heard reports that the police had asked for, the civilians to cease for a moment while the police continue to carry out the work in investigating this matter, noting that the guy was a very dangerous person and would be out there basically waiting, expecting people to come to him, and you never know what he would have done. As been reported, is that he, injured his uncle very, very dangerously, who, as you know, was hospitalized with several cuts since the night that he escaped and kidnapped this young lady and this young child there. So, yes, as the police is saying there, he has been captured and was shot, because obviously he ain't going to stand up there and put up his hand. Noting the character of the individuals that we are actually dealing with, is not someone that is going to stand there and wait for the police to say, well, come and arrest them and put handcuff on them. They were dealing with a very, as I said, dangerous person. And so, no doubt the police has captured him and shot him. And now it has been reported that he has died. And the young lady continued to remain a missing person. And the police is no doubt at this time, after, of course, we have passed the stage where the dangerous individual that obviously the civilians and ordinary citizens would have been searching for him would have encountered in the forest or wherever the police met him there, is no longer in the forest, and therefore the fear of meeting him and what could happen with a civilian, it's no longer in existence as we speak right now, because he is no longer loose anymore. As you know, he has died. And so at this point in time, it is the focus now is on finding this child who is continuously missing. As the commissioner said, he may have hinted or said certain things, as you heard from the deputy commissioner, he may have said certain things that would assist the police, I suppose, in finding this child wherever she may be hidden or may have been held, whether tied up, or we don't know what to expect, because I'm not sure what he may have said or did not say. But the police, as you heard, did not continue to explain further what they know. So we have to just pray that the information that he actually gave to the police will no doubt assist the police in finding the location where this child have been kept or is being kept over the last maybe 10 days and counting. And so it's quite a few days now since this child is missing. We hope that wherever he may have kept this child, and that she's alive, and that she have been eating and maybe finding some food, and that with all of what was going on with him behaving in this sort of a lunatic manner, that he would have shared the love that his parents expressed that he had, and they claimed that he would not have hurt her. Let's hope and pray to God that he did not hurt this child, and that she can they can find her alive during the course of this search. But very importantly, though, is although the police, as I said earlier, had asked for the civilians to withdraw at the time while the search was being conducted, the police is now asking for all able people now, as I said, that they have actually dealt with the dangerous individual. They are asking all able person to join with the police in carrying out the search to bring this child home. And this is a very important call there by the police. So I know there were some people who felt offended initially when the police had asked for the civilians to withdraw so that the police could actually take over this entire investigation. And there were some of you who did not feel, very pleased with maybe the fact that you all were carrying out the search and the police had to ask you all to withdraw at the time. But we have gone past that, and now it is time to bring this child home. And this call is going out to every able citizen who can assist in that process to so join in helping to make sure that we can rescue this child wherever she is currently located. And so, yes, it has been what a dramatic 2 weeks, we're getting into 2 weeks for us here in Dominica. First, the news broke out, and then you heard that the search had commenced immediately following this report by the police, with the Prime Minister obviously joining in and asking for assistance from our French partners and as well as neighboring islands to seek to bring in as many professional people on the scene as possible to recover this child. And also the intention, I can tell you from my initial discussion, was to bring this young man back alive. There was never an intention to kill him. And it's rather unfortunate sometimes that people sought to take the social media and to, always try to hit on the police, not understanding the severity of the matter that is being dealt with and the tremendous work that the police themselves have had to put into the dense forest of this country in search for this, both of these individuals who have been missing for all of this time. And so there are those who are already on attack. I heard several people on social media, on Facebook, giving their own conclusion as to what the police should do and what the police should not have done, and, and criticizing the police for what happened. But, the police had to do their work. They had to, of course, protect themselves. And you have to ask yourself if this young fella could have so seriously injured his very own family, his uncle, who supposedly is a pastor, as I understood it. You have to tell yourself at this very grave time that he would no fear and pull his cutlass on just about anybody that he would approach. And that is one of the reasons, as I said earlier, that it was very dangerous with civilians approaching him, because imagine you did not have a gun, but you were there in the forest searching for this child, and then you encountered this man with a cutlass as long as what was stated by the police. You can imagine what he would have very likely done in such a case where he believed that he would be caught. Obviously, he did not want to get caught, and that's one of the reasons why when they began that chase after him yesterday, he continued to escape. And no doubt, you can only run so far. And so, yes, the chase after him, it has now officially come to an end. However, the search for the missing child continues, and it is the time now where all of those who volunteered and those who are able now to come on board in assisting to ensure that we can safely bring back this child home to her parents wherever she is, and we continue to keep her in our prayers. And I saw a vigil by the Father Bronca Briggs and a number of folks from the Catholic Church who was walking the streets of Warner, going into Bells, obviously, praying and calling for the return of this child. And no doubt we have not found the child, but I would say that their prayers are also helping, and we call for all of the various people to pray so that God can lead us to where this child was kept by, or is being kept by this guy. So he's no longer there to tell us, and I know many people would have preferred that if he was there, and so would have been the police as well, because the intention, as I said, but obviously they had to catch him. And it is no doubt, he moves like, this guy moved like Tarzan, the way I understand it, in the bush. And his own parents explained it and said that he had spent a total of about 6 months in the forest, and so without any communication with them. And so he obviously had some skill in moving in the forest. But as you know, the search was on. He was a dangerous person, and no doubt the police had to apprehend him. And this is not the way we would have preferred it, but unfortunately, it is the way it is. And so this is the news tonight, people, as we go into a Saturday evening right there on the next level, as we will discuss further some of the other activities, political aspect of what was transpiring, even as we continue in the search. Because, and I will commence with that tonight, and I will, of course, engage your call when we get into the discussion, because what I'm saying there is important and I should continue with it. Now that we have heard the police commissioner ask for the citizens to join in, you will recall when this matter of the missing child had occurred, that Dr. Skerrit made a call for all of the public officers who are able, and basically all of who are able to join in. And so the whole country was then called upon, because the matter was very serious, and I mean, time was very important in that factor, and everyone was very concerned. And so Prime Minister Skerrit called on all of the various public officers and people to join in to conduct the search for this child. And what was funny is that I recently heard the leader of the opposition criticizing Dr. Skerrit for that call, because a couple of days after, the police said that they did not want the civilians, because the police felt the matter had reached a stage where they needed to take it to another level. And so the opposition leader had some comments to make in regard to that, something I will play for you a little further in the program. And I found some of the statements, and this issue of this missing child have had a political aspect to it that transpired over the last 2 weeks. And the opposition is saying that the Labour Party is blaming them, or they try to accuse our Prime Minister in all of what is happening, made allegations against him about him blaming them. The fact is that nobody was blaming anybody initially into that, And when I heard the people on the opposition side who were saying that it is Labour Party who is making politics with that, Labour Party is not making no politics with this matter, This is a serious matter. This is one of the reasons why the Prime Minister, upon his travels, came back into the country and took this matter in regard to the search for this child extremely serious. He also went on site in Warner to make sure that he could keep the morale of the police and all of the people, because that is one of the things that our political leader does as Prime Minister. He steps in where is necessary to make sure that we can succeed and get the job done, as quickly as we can. And so here he was playing his role as political leader, as Prime Minister, as the person who they usually will blame for everything that is happening in the country. Like you will hear them continuing now to blame the police, and very soon you may hear them trying to blame the politicians in government as well. And so here he was doing his duties, yes, doing his duties, and the opposition was engaging at that time in wanting to criticize the Prime Minister for what was his 50th birthday, and the fact that he had a pre-planned event for his birthday, which obviously he postponed one of them, and the man is turning 50 years. I mean, so many people are celebrating their birthday in the country, but they wanted to bring the politics into it. And so here they are trying to tie the issue of the missing child now to the Prime Minister's birthday, and what the Prime Minister should not do, and how he's going to spend this and that and have this. So who is bringing the politics then into the issue of this missing child? So it is the opposition, and so they are playing again politics, which when they get not a serious response, but just what I would consider to be a slight response, where the Prime Minister was basically saying the opposition will always be the opposition, and they will continue to do what they are accustomed of doing, which is not really caring for the people of this country. And obviously, no doubt, the Prime Minister did not lie when he said so, because on every aspect of this country where you turn to those in leadership in the opposition, they have always felt that it is not their role, to assist people in times of trouble, in times of need. And so they always sit on the side of the fence. This is something that leader of the opposition have said, even after this country was faced with not just a missing child, but a Category 5 hurricane that claimed the lives of so many citizens of this country. You know, people who died. There were people who, families lost everything they have. And we were in a very, very serious situation at the time. And you would have think that the opposition leader, if he had cared any bit, that would have been a critical time for him to show that he cared, because the world was on board with this country, seeking to find ways to help Dominica. But he and his political party was just sitting on the fence. Rather, he went and traveled all the way to this terrorist country and found himself in New York, obviously making outlandish statements about crime against humanity and sales of diplomatic passports, something we came to find out that Al Jazeera had caught him in. So here he is, and his party now trying to make it look like the party is making politics. No, the opposition have no business in bringing the Prime Minister's 50th birthday into what is going on with this child. But they chose to do that. And so they get a little bit of criticism. And so I heard the leader of the opposition making a statement about the Prime Minister being broken down, you know. And I want to examine that a little bit as we discuss before I can go to, of course, opening the lines and taking your call, because, you know, it touched me when I heard him said that in a way that I want to really bring across to you. Let's listen to what the leader of the opposition said about the Prime Minister's statement there. All right, let's see. I think I'm playing the PM there. All right, let's see if I can get Linton, the opposition leader, on this there. Let me see. No, all right, let's see there. All right, let's play the Prime Minister first, and then I'll go to the leader of the opposition.
I have heard, especially the ladies call with, very passionate and very concerned about the safety of Kenesha and calling on us to do everything that we should do and we can do to allow this to happen. I share the emotions of the callers. What I can say to all of us to reiterate that we have mobilized all of the resources that one would require based on the request of the police to assist with the search of Kenesha. The police continues on that mission. We continue to have in excess of 100.
Let's see what happened there. Let's see if we can get this back up there. Sorry about that. Listeners, let's see if we can get this. Yes.
I have heard, especially the ladies call with, very passionate and very concerned about the safety of Kenesha and calling on us to do everything that we should do and we can do to allow this to happen. I share the emotions of the callers. What I can say to all of us to reiterate that we have mobilized all of the resources that one would require based on the request of the police to assist with the search of Kenesha. The police continues on that mission. We continue to have in excess of 105 police officers specially assigned to this operation, plus other agencies within the state, within the government. Obviously, it takes an effort, everybody. I have my views on interviews I've heard from various family members. I will not comment on it at this stage because my preoccupation and the government's preoccupation is on the safety of and the safe return of Kenesha. All I would say on this for the time being is that our focus should be on the young child, not anybody else. And if we're gonna do any interviews, it should be for an appeal to bring Kenesha home safely. You're not giving a story about anybody's life or experiences and so on. It's about making an appeal. Let us speak to Mr. Alexander and say, look, if you're hearing us, please, I am so and so. I would like you to bring Kenesha to my house or to so and so house, and everything will be okay. And that should be the focus. But it is very mind-boggling that we're talking about that people talk about every other thing except the safe return of the child. And out there, what do people know that they need to share with the police? So that it can assist it, because every information will assist the police in formulating better strategy, better plan. So I just want to let the callers know that the things that they've suggested that the police should do, the police has in fact been doing those things. So their suggestions are consistent with what the police has been doing and other things which obviously the police or myself, because I'm briefed by the police, I can't share publicly, because the reality is you do not know if the gentleman is listening or following the event. Because it is not just a child who was gone into the forest and she got lost. There's the element of someone taking her. And you do not know the circumstance of that particular individual, whether he's armed or not, etc., etc. So that brings a different complexion to the search and rescue effort. So if it was just a child missing, for example, within the government, we have taken a decision, we have at Woodin Hall, business advice, to offer a reward, a financial reward, for anybody who would provide information or be able to bring her home. But there's a flip side to this, that if you do that and you say put $50,000 on your head, you expect a lot of people to go in the forest now and go searching, and that in itself can compromise the efforts of the police in the search and rescue effort. So there's some dynamics that sometimes we have to be mindful of and aware of. It's another straightforward situation where a child went missing. She was coming from school, going home, and between home and school and home, she got lost. She disappeared. Is a situation where we've been told that she was taken from her room by someone, and so that is a different. That brings a different element to it, but it's unfortunate that some are making this political. Well, we're not surprised. This is how the UWP operate in Dominica. There's no genuine concern or care for anything human in Dominica by the opposition. So we just have to continue our efforts, and also say to your callers, I really wanted to call to allay the anxieties and the sincere concerns of the people who have called and people who are listening to your program on the continuous search and rescue. So we are not relenting. We are not demobilizing the police. The police continue to be engaged. We continue to receive assistance from our regional partners, and the police has taken a decision not to share the details of and the aspects of the offerings, obviously, because you do not know whether the guy is listening. You see, and following the events, so we have decided not to share with the public.
Yes, and so of course this was Dr. Skerritt, obviously in the eve of the search for this guy, as you heard the Prime Minister, of course, speaking to a number of issues there in relation. But in a little bit of what the Prime Minister said there, though, he just said he didn't mention the opposition that very long, and it was amazing what I did of them. But I want to open up the lines and hear from some of you, the listeners, because I know the telephones have been all ringing there for the past time there. But this is obviously a situation that we have at hand. As I said earlier, I will get back to that audio just now of Linton's and this broken thing, but just want to stick on that a little more. That this child is out there, somewhere out there. We don't know how far into the forest or at what location. What we now know is that the gentleman in question is now deceased, and he's no longer there to help the police or the civilian in the search and rescue mission. And what we also know is that the police is now calling on the citizens to join in the effort, like we heard Dr. Skerritt did earlier on when he asked many people to come forward. It is what the opposition said. In return to that, I will deal with. I want to play the Deputy Commissioner again, and then we'll open up the lines and hear from you, the listeners.
The search for Kenisha Etienne by the police has been relentless from the day she was abducted from her home by Kian Alexander on the 7th of June, 2022. At about 3:15 p.m. on the 18th of June, 2022, while searching in the Brook Hill estate, a police patrol team encountered Kian armed with a cutlass about 3 feet long. The police attempted to apprehend him. He charged at the police with a cutlass. The police took action to subdue him by shooting at his legs. The police took immediate action to render first aid. During that time, he said certain things to the police as to the possible whereabouts of Kenisha Etienne. As a result, the search has been intensified in the area to find Kenisha Etienne. The ambulance and the district medical officer were summoned, and he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. We are soliciting all able-bodied people to assist the police with the search for Kenisha Etienne. I wish to commend all the officers and members of the public who have been relentless in searching for Kenisha. We also wish to commend the public for the trust and confidence in the police. Our main focus has been and remains the safe return of Kenisha Etienne to her family. Thank you.
Yes, people, you heard what the main focus is there. Of course, I'm going to open up the lines. It's already 8:48 there on a Saturday evening there as we are dealing with the breaking news there of the search and rescue that have been ongoing there for these last 10 days there and continue as we speak tonight into tomorrow and God knows until, we can hear some other report from the police that they have actually found this missing child so that the country can rest at peace. And as I said, we are praying for her safe return. We are praying for for God to guide us because our forest, one of the people was searching said to be Simeon Dominica half forest and Dominica big because of the places, that all of these people who have been involved, engaging over these past few weeks in the search, they all have been just, filling the hills and valleys and precipice of this country in the search. And so we really praying that that he would have at the whatever moment when he felt that he was maybe, going to die, most probably he would have felt that, I want to believe. Let's pray that he gave the police good information, the good information that would assist in the process, and that hopefully, if God spare, much time wouldn't pass again before we can discover her location, where exactly he would have been keeping her for all of this time. That the people of the village of Warner, the people of Bells and Layu area, all of these people there, many people came out. The Kalinago territory, there were people from all around Dominica who obviously felt the pain of this missing child and came out and were broken as a result of the news that this child had actually gone missing. And so let's take the telephone there as we continue to pray for a safe return there. Call, good evening to you on the local line.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good evening.
Well, let me tell you something. What I have to say about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Police community policing is very important. Some of us ignore it, but from now, we have to work with the police, all of us. Mm-hmm. Because you have people that boldface will want to come in your yard and talk about they are showing you. They don't want to come in your, So from now, we're going to, all of us in Dominica, all communities, we have to start working with the police and make everything seriously. Okay?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, and we have to work with the government.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Thank you, my boy. Thank you there. Your line seems to have cut off there, but as you, and I agree with you, that everybody, must really, this is a time when we really need as many people on deck as possible. There is no need to fear people in coming out this time around. On the local line there, good evening to you.
Good evening, Simon. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, my dear. Good evening.
Okay. Simon, I would like to say good night to Tesla. And Tesla cannot get carried up there at all.
Where in Colio?
Yeah, she called me today and she told me since last week they cannot get Kyrie. They come and do something, but up to they can't get nothing.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that information, and we will be out there
Let me
listening.
tell
Yes,
you.
yes.
I mean, I did not want them to take that man and call him to die, but the police had no choice. Because if a man coming to you for a long cutlass, if he can chop his uncle, if not the police, he will not slice out. So the police had no choice to do what he had to do, right? Because if they come, a man like that, and the police coming to him, he coming to the police, he coming to us going to kill the man and more. So that is how it has to go. They say a lot of things, but nobody cares. Like what they say, I just want them to get the child, and I hope he says something that can go to lead to know where this. If he killed the child, he should say, well, I killed the child. And I don't want that to happen. So I wish and hope that they can get that child. And because the Prime Minister keeps looking for it, I mean, I don't understand Dominican. No for Linton to have his boots on the ground. That is how he should be, and horse their mouth. Put their head down. They feel like everything is a politics. No, it's not time for the politics. Now it's time to go and look for the child. Day and night. It have many in the bush, red and white in the what kind of thing they and then not risking their life, rain falling, and then the bush looking for a child. And he at his home, rocking his rocking chair. And then you're the Prime Minister back. So the man has to work without no enjoying for himself. He with 50, he has to enjoy himself. If the man is breaking his life, leave scary to break. Let him enjoy himself, my God. Every day, on every day, he keep the child makes him so he has to stay in the corner and cry. He do enough for that child there, to get that child there. He sell for people, he sell for all kind of way. When Linton not doing nothing, he should never dirty go out. You and Spark and the other man, go and look for the man, the child. Go out. Go out. So they will say a lot of things tomorrow because, scary, send them to kill the man. That tomorrow just wait on their face and you say what they will say. But I will good for them. Anyway, good night to me.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you for your contribution there as the lines are open as we continue, of course, to discuss this situation that the breaking news this afternoon with regard to this, this ongoing search for this missing child who still continue to be and remain missing out there as we speak on the local line. Good evening.
Good evening, Simeon.
Good evening.
That's your friend Rampran.
Yes, good evening.
We know a lot of things will be said concerning the work of the police, but to give the public a clear understanding, the police who shoot, if you could get him on the shoot tomorrow, if anything goes, the process for him to explain what happened, so the public could have a clear understanding of what they got and what they're dealing with. It would be much better. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Yes, of course, there will be different opinions and different advice, but no doubt this matter is very serious, as we have all said, and we took it very serious from day one. That is why the citizens of the country came out in such large numbers, to assist the police initially, in the initial days, because the hope was that, they would have discovered this child even sooner than 3 days, and now we are into 10 days. On the overseas line there, good evening.
Good evening, Simeon. Sometimes I just check people. Sometimes if you don't have nothing good to say, don't hush your mouth. What the police have to explain? What does they have to explain? The man is a criminal. The man take a child and go. Now he's dead. I mean, I wish he was alive to tell us where the little girl be. But what the police have to explain about? What does them have to explain? I want someone to tell me. What they have to explain? What? The police. Somebody coming to kill you. You gonna make them kill you first?
Not at all.
Thanks for taking my call. Sometimes if you have nothing good to say, then hush your mouth. Thanks for taking my call, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Thank you for your contribution here tonight. And yes, the country is praying for this little girl. The country is no doubt. And as I said there, that it was nice earlier on today to see the Catholic Church and Father Bronco Briggs and others come together and join, and this is what it is about. It's not about it's about finding the child. That is the primary mission there, and it is not something that that is, the prayer warriors have to join in, no doubt, and we saw that earlier on today. So yes, people, and but as I said, there is always the politics in it, and as we are searching for this child, but there's always the politics in it, because there are those who will try to take this thing and twist it around, in the political ways, and we'll talk more about that. Let's take the call on the overseas line there. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, Simeon. I listening to the conversation tonight, and it seems like the police, in their hunt for this young man, somehow killed him. And I don't understand how some Dominicans are making this man out to be a martyr. You have to understand, this guy is a threat to society. The police are human beings also. Okay? A lot of people keep criticizing them and saying, well, you know what, they shouldn't have done what they did. But put yourself in their shoes. He kidnapped the girl, 10 days now?
Yes.
It's been 10 days. This is the second time he escaped. No one knows what he would have done if the cop didn't shoot him first. Now, some people are making this man out to be a martyr. I don't understand how he's some sort of hero and we need to fight for his justice. Actually, the guy put the country on edge for 10 days. People were afraid to go outside. Before that, he did not live an upstanding life. He was a menace to society. He was troubling people in Roseau and also his village of Bells. And now the mother is trying to paint her son as if he's this innocent guy. And I just don't buy it. Good day, Sim. Good night.
Yes, caller. Thank you very much. Of course, yes. Let's take the local line. On the local line there, good evening to you.
Good evening, Mr. Simeon. And how are you?
I am good, thank you. Good evening to you.
Well, I didn't want him to have died because I wanted them to have get him so that he could have stayed where the child is. But he is a threat to the country. So we have no complaint. He's a threat to the country. And the others that on the other side of the United Workers Party, Lincoln want to make the guy think that he's a hero. He's not a hero. He's not a hero. He did something. 10 days a little girl is out there. Look now, he's not there. No one knows where the child is. So you cannot give somebody a grad. What kind of a position they want to give the guy? Huh? Nobody don't know if she's alive. Nobody don't know what he have done to her. If he has abused her. Huh? So which hero is he? He's not a hero. If he had killed 5 policemen, what they will have say? Huh? If he had killed 5 policemen, so right now if he had killed 5 policemen, they'll agree he killed 5 policemen. Huh? These people, no matter what, these people there, I don't know how to class them, what to do with them, but they will never become Prime Minister in Dominica. They will never sit down because they haven't got no justice. No matter what you do, they just say the good, they just always say the bad. But Prime Minister, Dr. Roosevelt Skerry, God will guide you and protect you. And he has been doing that. And the prayer of the warriors, let us keep on praying for us to get that child. May God bless each and everyone in Dominica, all over the world that's praying for that child. Mr. Linton, you better stop to take your rosary and pray. And that guy, mother, she says she's a Christian. Get a team. The same way you went to Matt and was giving you was saying what he was happening. He's a good child. Get a team and go out. Get a team and go out and look for the person's child now. It's your niece. Go and look for her. Go and look for her now. You have the all right to go and look for her. Go and get a team and go and look for her. Put all yourself to go and look for in the bush now. Or you too wicked. Anyway, have a good night, Mr. Simeon. Continue doing your good work. God bless everybody. I'm listening.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, my dear. And of course, you are right on target there when you asked the family because as you said, they went on mad. They were able to see all kind of things. They can go and help with the process. The only overseas line there. Good evening.
Good evening, Simeon.
Hi. Good evening. Simeon, yes.
If Lennox so care, why Lennox don't put his boots and go in the bushes and look for the child? Why they making the guy feel that he's so easy? The mother should be in jail. The so-called parent should be in jail. The pastor should be in jail. They all should be in jail. If the mother had so care, why did she go on Q95 to give a statement? DBS is the biggest radio station in Dominica. Why didn't she go DBS to give a statement? That will show you they all previously, these people, they are wicked people. They all should be in jail, seriously.
And the focus now is on the child. I really don't care about the guy. I don't give a damn about the guy. I'm sorry he died, but I don't give a damn about him. Because he put in the government to spend so much resources for nothing. Nothing. All these resources, who's going to pay for it? What scale should we put taxes on them and then say back? The child is important now. Forget about Lennox. We don't want Lennox. Lennox is useless in Dominic. All he can do is run his mouth. Why he don't go and get his people and not along in the office to go in the bush and look for the child? The child now life in reach. We don't know where the child is. And he getting a salary every month. Why he getting salary for? Go and look for the child and stop talking nonsense on Q95. I tell you already, shut down Q95. Q95 is a useless station in Dominica. It's a waste of time. Shut it down. We don't want Lennox useless to us. He's not doing nothing for us. He's not doing nothing to us. He's just useless. All he can do is run his empty mouth. And all these people are just talking. All of them put all your books and go and look for the damn child and stop talking. This guy he's not worth nothing to me. I'm sorry he does, but he don't worth nothing to me. I have no sympathy, no remorse, nothing for this guy. They just have to put him down, throw sign on him, and that's it. The mother should be in jail. Every one of them should be in jail because they knew. And whoever has the child, God forbid, they themselves should be in jail. And I hold nothing back to say that. They all should be in jail.
Yes, I feel your pain. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Wow. On the local line there, good evening.
Good evening to you, my son.
Good evening to you, ma'am.
To God be the glory. Great things he has done. And I give him thanks to God for the policemen. They have done a fantastic job. But now we have to be on a continual prayer to find that child in whatever way to just get her. And I know the light is on, the light of Christ, and they will find that child. In whatever situation, Jesus will find her. Because he was 12 years old when he started his mission for his father, Jehovah. So we're going to get that child. And let us continue to pray. And my light is burning especially for that child. And she will be found in whatever way. So let's keep our faith and keep our eyes open, our ears open, and listen to this fantastic and policemen, our soldiers, to get that child. God bless them, and may God protect the police and them wherever they are in the bush, that the Lord will continue to protect them, that they will come home safe. Mm-hmm. I said good evening to my Dr. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. My heart is burning in pain for you, my son. You've been working all your life since you become the Prime Minister. You're carrying the cross for the whole country. You are bearing the pain and the burden for the whole country. You are following the footsteps of your Savior, Jesus of Nazareth. Don't give up. There is a silver lining for you, my son. May he continue to bless you, bless your wife and your children. Be their protection, their guard, and be their light. And I claim that most precious blood of the Lamb of God from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. Pray always. Do not think of what they say out there. The evil men speak more than that about Christ himself, who is our Savior. So they will always slander you as their custom. But trust in God and give them prayers. Pray the Lord is my shepherd. Let him shepherd you, Prime Minister. Let him continue to hold your hands and walk with you throughout the darkest night and the brightest day. He's your shepherd. Look up to the mountains and to the hills from where your help comes, from the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
And no weapon that form against you shall not prosper.
Thank you, ma'am.
God is with you. Keep on holding on. Mommy praying for you. Every day your candles lighting it burning for you and your family and for my children and my family.
Thank you, ma'am.
When I light 3 candles in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I ask in Jesus for his guiding light to enlighten us and to enlighten my country. Enlighten that country that he have created. And he bless it and sanctify it. So those demons can go out there and say what they want. God is in control. If I get a chance to come back, I will come back.
Thank you, mommy.
Have a
Thank you.
blessed night
You too,
and
ma'am.
Happy Father's Day in advance.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, and you take care. Bless you too. Bless you too, there, ma'am. Bless you too, there. All right, there. It's already 7 minutes past as we continue there to, of course, discuss this very, very important matter that we are dealing with regard to the ongoing, search for this child. This is a very, the situation has changed, as you will know. The kidnapper is now, deceased, and the child is still not found. So the search continues. On the overseas line there, good evening to you.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, monsieur. Oui, d'accord.
Simeon, maman nom la même te fait nom la. Nom la était un criminel. Ou pas li pour monde, si un touriste te joigne, non la te joigne un touriste aussi. Il te essaye même bite kidnapper. Et ça qui travaille dit, et monsieur te a commencé à venir. Plus mauvais, jouant du monsieur te venir plus mauvais. En regardant qui m'a dit nom la courir à Zion là. C'est pour nous tuer ou qui va les méchants nom la méchant. On coupe la main aïe. UWP, W qu'on dit mamie, cachet politique, dans toute bité ou cachet politique, ou cachet toute bité, rien qui fait, donc il pas assez la rivière, avec ça avant pour la Premier ministre, à bas UWP, et c'est ça seulement il a fait, il n'y a pas de, rien qui mauvais, c'est ça il a support. Si le gouvernement Premier ministre a probité qui bon, il a critiqué mais toujours. Pas rien que merci. Merci pour ça, Premier ministre a fait. So, les hommes comme ça, tout à fait, maman, allez, petit monde. Ok, on les petit monde là, bien, d'accord. Mais non, la vie, non, depuis non, la vie, tel l'âge, non, la chargé. Donc, il pas petit monde là, où tu es il y a ici un Thomas, et pas bien, il fait, pourquoi il voit que l'argent, il vous dit. Pourquoi il pas très jeune homme là, pourquoi il va très jeune homme là, qui de tout bité passé. Et pourquoi il descend d'homme qui avait tout magie à ça? Nous pas ça si bon de ça, et il peut encore nous pas de vous parler. Mais, nous contents, il mort. Parce que Dominique, si vous l'école, qui va à l'école, lui c'est un docteur, vous dites bon, elle est à Zion, d'accord? En regardant l'école là, en communaille, toute famille de paix, après tout le monde est content. Ça qui est bon à jamais. Pourquoi nous avons gros pouvoir? Elle va calquer tout ça. Ça va me donner le monde qui est dans le mort. So, merci, mon Dieu. Merci. Mon camarade, à regarder votre petit monde, nous jeter mon nom. À nous trouver vivant. Papa, mon Dieu. So, tout de merci de mon camarade, tout ça qui peut aller. À une seule petit monde, pour nous trouver petit monde vivant en nom à Jésus. Les bons cas travail. Simeon, merci.
Merci, Utagwara. Merci, Uta. Let's take the local line. Of course, the lines are open. Local line caller, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Every day, not every day, every time when of Clinton talk, he makes sure he paving the way to be the most, to go in the Guinness Book as the most stupid leader of revolution ever in the Caribbean. He makes sure he puts in that one. He paving the way to make sure he get that prize. So they should give me an award for the independence for that.
Yes, all right, right. Yes, I. Oh, whoa. I tell you, yeah. So, people, the search is on. The search is on. Yes, it's on. On the overseas line there, good evening.
Simeon.
Hello.
Simeon.
Yes.
Congratulations. Simeon.
Yes, there.
The father did give him a bullet in his foot, right? He was a menace to his father and his family. So what I would do now, I would advise PM the money he spend on the command center, give the bill to his mother and Lennox. So when Lennox go to Parliament next time, he wouldn't ask for the $40-something billion again. He will know where the money go this time. The Oranga is in the house.
Yes, I. On the local line, the caller, good evening to you.
sorry. Mr. Albert Nice, how are you?
I am fine, thank you, and you?
Okay, I'm there with the family.
Doing good, you know, and holding good, thanks God.
Sorry. First, yes, Simeon. Anyway, I'd like to say advance Father's Day greetings goes up to you when it comes into your day tomorrow when it comes around.
Thank you, my dear.
Anyway, first of all, before I start, to this guy mother, as a mother to an ex-mother, I would like to say condolences to this guy mother. But anyways, Mr. Albert. You know, as a mother, you know, I have children too. And I could have to blame the police. I don't see why people have to put things blaming police and have to, a lot of things to say. People must stop that. You understand? Because the boy had plenty time to go and give up himself to the police. And because why you ever see police people are sick of things on police. If he had taken match at this police, what they will all be saying. You see, Dominicans sometimes we don't know how to please them, you know. He doesn't know how to please. These people always have to run them out and say a lot of things. They need to stop it. Come on, man. A police is a human being just like every one of us. Okay?
True.
And what is to be will always be. The police don't do no wrong there. And you start to go and follow to find the little girl.
Yes.
Step out there and do the right thing. Go all over you, get out and be look for that little girl. Okay? She needs to be found. All right, Simeon?
Yes,
when
dear.
You have, people, as a mother, you have to make up your children, mind, you know. But when the children turn out to be bad, it does better you go and cry in cemetery. It does better to go make one cry in the cemetery than you have to be try to be having sleepless nights. You understand? I'd also like to tell you, I'd rather go and cry in the cemetery. And that Michelle Linton. Linton says once the Simeon. What? Linton doesn't behave himself. Linton, and then you could have pick a Christophine. Get your boots. You have a dog. Get your dog. You have a, what is it? Get your dog outside and go and do the search. Go join the search team. Look for do something. You just sit down behind a microphone on Q95 and talk. See, when you see that business of Q95, Q95 need to shut down, you know. Q95 is our problem in that country, in Dominica. Always spreading fake news and rumors. There is where our problem in Dominica lies. And if I was in government long time, I don't know what the government is fighting for, to shut down Q95.
Yes, I.
It has some other country. Long time they would have shut down Q.
They operating under the word democracy.
Radio station. And then all they do is to cause problem and him in the place. If they don't want to, you cannot have that running in place. This is not good. There is where our problem lies. Q95 needs to close. Plain and simple.
Yes, I. That's a big one. All right.
Nobody when I vex, you know. I vex when my head goes up to that little girl out there, boy. I feel in it, man. Oh, but she needs to be found.
Especially now. It's critical.
Cooperate with the police. Cooperate with the police.
She's alive. We need to find her.
Of course. Some of us on Facebook, they become an investigator. All of a sudden, some of them, they get their degree in investigating.
Yes.
Some of all you need to stop all the problem. Oh, you have a serious problem, stop it. Some of them,
yes.
Oh my God, man, it is true. It is too much. And I myself, I begin up my police, okay?
Yeah, man.
The name again, Mr. Blackmore.
Yes.
Big up your team.
Yeah, man. Yes, I. Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, take care there. All right, there. Let's see. All right, I thought I had someone on hold there, but of course, it's already 60 minutes after as we continue there to, of course, song the call out there for the search for this missing child. Yes, let's take the overseas line there as we continue there on the overseas line. Good evening.
Timo, good evening to you, my brother.
Hi, good evening, brother. Good evening.
How are you?
good?
Well, I'm there, just basically, I'm all right, but thinking of this missing child who obviously we don't know where she is, if she is being kept somewhere, or her condition, or if she's alive at all. We just don't know. And obviously, the search is on to find her as soon as possible, knowing that this dangerous gentleman guy is out of the way.
Yes, Simo. I too, I'm listening to the program and the callers. And I too want to, our hearts overseas and at home out there, we are still, aching, so to speak, because we need to find that missing girl and, make sure that she's safe. I don't know how, where, when, but we are hoping for the best. But to be honest, in reference to the capturing on by now the deceased villain, I've heard a lot, and I want to agree with a lot of the callers that this guy was a menace to society. I have heard residents of Bells and Warner spoke about this guy, said that this guy is worse when he's normal than when he's off. So, I mean, as the lady said, he's a mother, he's a parent. Somebody is his mother. He's a child of a parent. But Simeon, it is what it is. Sometimes in life we things happen and we have no control. The police had to make sure that they protect themselves at all times. I personally I'm not in for death, but I'd rather a policeman get saved than a policeman get killed, and I will leave it at that for where that is concerned. Simeon, I want to comment briefly, if you give me a minute or two. Simeon, you there? You heard me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
Yes, I want to comment briefly, Simeon, and I want to commend the police for the outstanding effort they have put in over the past 10 days, and still have to do more. It's not over yet. We have more things to do. The young lady, the person of interest, the real person of interest, in terms of bringing up rescue, is not here yet. We still have, the government still have to make resources available to them, so that the police officers can go out there and continue on the search and rescue for this young lady, because that is where our focus is. And so I want to commend them for the work that they've been doing, the work that they are doing, and the work that they'll continue to do. The Minister of National Security, Minister Blackmore, I want to commend him. I want to commend first and foremost, overall, the Prime Minister for making sure that the resources were made available, that the young lady, we're still looking to find the young lady. Simeon,
yes,
there was some comments being made, and I want to comment on it very briefly. But I heard a clip, which is in connection with all what is going on, the search and rescue of this young lady, the adoption of this young lady, and for I don't know what I can call the leader of the opposition, and I want to be very respectful. But sometimes, Simeon, these guys push you to the edge, and you ask yourself, what kind of brain cells that is within this guy? Belsington sound like a deranged idiot. To make statements about the Prime Minister, trying to look for the lady and the young lady and put resources out there, because he wants to emerge as a hero. So, what stupidity is that? Who in the right mind repeats something like that in the public? I mean, this is not even something to repeat in private, furthermore in public. The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of the country, and that is what his mandate. That is part of his mandate, to protect the people, the citizens, the livelihood, and the businesses of the country. So anything of that nature that emerges, the Prime Minister has to be the voice
of reason. He has to be the voice of authority for the country. And for a so-called man who wants to be the leader of a country, Simeon, I have never heard more asinine utterances than that came from the leader of the opposition. Simeon, you will recall when some Christian, and I want to go there because it's really sometimes it gets to you. When some Christian had the accident, didn't the Prime Minister, did he say that the Prime Minister emerged as a hero? When the Prime Minister made resources available, so the man, Dr. Sam Christian, could have been flown out and could have, get the medical attention, and that's why maybe he's alive today? Did they say that the Prime Minister emerged as a hero? I mean, you listen to these guys, Simon, and keep saying, Simo, that these guys are dangerous to the country because they give the impression and they try their best to see how they can bring down the country in every way, shape, and form. Because you cannot, if Lennox Linton do not have the ability to come on air and rally his supporters, because he will not be speaking to the Labour Party supporters, he will rally supporters and could have told them, look, you need to go out there, we need to come together and see how we can join in the efforts for the search of Kenisha. You cannot just come and like everybody else say something of importance and interest to anybody. Anything that is happening in Dominica, Lennox Linton Simeon has to come with some kind of level of stupidity and in some cases ignorance, and in some cases just downright idiotic, and speak out there talking about trying to make a situation political. Simeon, there is nothing political about a young girl that was taken from the comfort of her home. As the Prime Minister said, she didn't just stray in the bushes. She was trying to look for a ball or something, but she ended up, getting lost in the forest. Somebody took her from a comfort zone. And up till now, tonight at 9:25, Simeon, we cannot find the young lady.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you could say that is of importance in terms of the support for the young lady, and talk about the Prime Minister trying to emerge and all kind of crazy foolishness, stupidity. I mean, what emerging as hero have to do with anything? How you get those words into a sentence to address a situation where people, the whole state, Simeon, is under duress, is under stress, because most people have children, most people have nieces, and they have sisters, and they're feeling the pain of a young 11, 12-year-old that is in no man's land. We're still looking for her. You cannot say something that could encourage and motivate Simeon. These guys are just hell-bent on talking about, and then some of the supporters talk about the poverty is what leading to adoption and child abuse and sexual. I mean, if there was a time that Dominica was at its lowest in terms of poverty, and I'm sure Senior Council will later on emphasize and talk about, elaborate on the poverty report that came out between 1997 under the same administration of the UWP. When that report came out, if that's what they're saying, that is because of poverty, then we should have a lot of that back in 97, 98. America has abduction and child molestation and sexual crime every blessed day. Is because America has poverty? I mean, the level of garbage, Simeon, that spew out of the mouth of the UWP and their supporters and their leadership is above and beyond anything that one can imagine or think about. Everything that they're speaking has no contextual relationship. It has nothing to do with nothing. So they want to criticize the government. So they'll come up with something that doesn't make no sense. That is not adding up. Simeon, we have so much capital projects going on. Everybody's working. And who is not working, do not want to work. The country does not have a poverty issue. So to tie poverty with the adoption of young Kenisha or any other person that any other predator that is preying on our young women or young girls in a sexual way is total ludicrous and absolute garbage and nonsense. And they need to be called out for that.
Yes, sir.
They need to be called out for the utterances. And people ask to close down the radio station. I don't know if we should go that far, but sometimes, Simeon, the level of what is being said on that station, Q95, it begs the question: what is that radio station all about? What is it trying to accomplish? A radio station is supposed to be something that is there to give credible information to the public, well-researched and substantiated information. These guys go out there, and whether it is a child that is missing, whether it is older people that is getting help from the government, whether it is children that is going to school, whether it is the health situation, our health promotion, and the health, how the government is dealing with the health in terms of putting infrastructure in place. It doesn't matter, Simeon, what Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit and his cabinet does. The UWP will find a way, or try at least to find a way, to see how they can bring it down. In closing, I am very pleased, Simeon, to see the report that came out from the Social Security. 17% growth from 2017 to now. Simeon, that is astronomical. It means that, Simeon, the Social Security is getting more. First of all, for you to have a growth, you have to have more companies being open and more contributions coming to your coffers. So that in itself, that report single-handedly debunked the stupid responses or suggestions from the UWP about poverty and about people that are not working, jobless, there's no jobs available, and there is no this and there is no that. That report, Simeon, we have moved from 50-something million to almost 70 million. That speaks to where the country is in its socio-economic growth. More businesses are being opened, Simeon. More people are being hired. More contribution to Social Security. And that is because of the policies that are being set down by the government to create a platform, to create an area so businesses can easily strive. And by striving, they can create employment. And by creating employment,
comrade, I have Senior Counsel on the line there, so I want to thank you for joining us tonight and sharing for us as we continue, of course, to deal with this critical situation here on island tonight. So thank you again. Thank you. All right, there. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can bring our comrade, Senior Counsel, on the line there. SC, are you there with me? Good evening.
Yeah, good night, Simeon.
Yes, my brother. What's up, man?
Good night, darling. I'm going to be very brief tonight because you know what? I listened to the beginning of the show, and the women of this country are up in arms. They're angry. They want to speak, and I think we need to give them the chance to talk. But I want to say a couple things. One,
right, Dad.
My heart goes out to this child. This is a 10th or 11th day. I lost track somewhere. And tonight she's alone. 12 years old. I, nor you, nor anybody else would want to be in that place alone at night. As other strapping men like you and others. Just imagine a 12-year-old girl.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
my heart and my prayers go out to her.
Indeed.
I also want to thank the police for doing what they have to do, for doing their job to protect us and to protect the young girl and to ensure that law and order prevails in our country. All right? And I will say absolutely, if you're attacked with a 3-foot cutlass, knowing the circumstances of how this thing began, the police had the absolute right to defend themselves.
Yes.
All right? So my heart goes out to the family of the girl and to her. All right?
No doubt.
I want to encourage the ladies of this country and the mothers who've been calling and others who want to call to express what you really want to say about this. Please call. I'm going to hang up. I'm not going to stay on the show very long. I'm finished.
Thank you, SC.
I think the ladies have earned the right to speak tonight, and we should let them talk.
Indeed.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you, dear senior counsel. There, of course, very brief here tonight as we deal with what is a critical situation on the island with the continued search for this missing child, and it's 10 days and counting, as we have said. The gentleman in question who was involved in kidnapping her is no longer there with us. And so let's take the local line there. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Simeon. Rosen in the house.
Yes, good evening.
Let me tell you, Simeon, for the past that I stay away from the radio because that was hurting. You know, and I check in straight, man. I in full support with the police because straight out, if something else had happened, they would say more nonsense. And I call in on all Dominican to support the police because I tell you straight, it was very hard on us in Dominica. Praise God, it happened so, and God will deliver the rest, and we will, if the girl alive, we will surely get that girl. Yes. Thank you very much. Off the radio tonight.
Thank you, my brother. Of course, so we have to tonight pray for her safe return. It is, as I said, a critical turn of events. Most people thought that the guy would be able to lead us there. We hope that whatever hint he gave the police will help us. On the local line, good evening.
Mr. Simeon.
Yes, sir.
I'm a father. And I'm very much concerned about this child because I know her personally.
Right.
Because where in my working place, that is where I get to know her, coming with her adopted mother, and I don't know what to do. Anyhow,
yes,
you know we have centipede, we have millipede, we have ants. You can imagine the child is somewhere in that area, and most likely she probably is tied, whether to her legs or to her arms. And millipede and centipede and ants, you name it. What this child is going through, it's unbelievable. In darkness, big women, big people, grown-up people are very coward, and the child is scared. The child is hearing the sounds of insects and beetles, and the whereabouts of her is unknown. And of course, I cannot blame the police. The police is a human being. The police has a family to take care of and children. The policeman, whoever, had to defend himself. He will not allow this monster with a 3-foot cutlass to slaughter him. He had to defend himself. And when I heard what people said about the mother, I think he's a good guy. When the moon is up, he's in his bad mood. But when his moon is going back down, he'll bring back the child. That lady must be a crazy woman. And I know the mother as well. I know the father as well. And what I'm saying is this. It's very unfortunate that this man, I do not want to describe him as being a gentleman. But if he was alive, what I would have done to him is to put him to the gallows and hang him because he done critical things to the child. He did bad things to the child. Where is the child? Where is she right now in the darkness? But I'm not giving up hope.
Right.
That she's alive. I'm not giving up hope because I have 2 daughters and I consider myself to be one of the best fathers on planet Earth because I take care of my children and I give them all the love, and I'm concerned about my children. I care about them. I'm very generous towards them. And as I tell you earlier on, I know the child personally, and I can see her when she was probably about 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. But due to the COVID, outbreak of the COVID, I could not have seen it probably for the past 2-3 years. And when this incident happened to her, she's 12 years. Where is she right now? I'm not giving up hope. I'm not getting discouraged. And I believe this monster is gone. And I wish he would have been captured alive. But the police had to be on the offensive and defend themselves from this monster. So, Mr. Simeon,
sir.
I'm listening.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you for sharing it for us, and as you continue to call as well for the safe return of this young lady. Of course, I am being joined by my comrade there. I'm going to introduce him very shortly. Let me just take this other call there and get right to that. They're on the local line there. Caller, good evening to you. Good evening. Caller, you're live.
Hello, good night.
Yes, good evening. You're live.
Yes, Simeon, good night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that was a deep.
Yeah, are you there? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
the police they make a blunder there because right now, the same gentleman that just call and talk about Santa Pete and all kind of things. So how the police them never know about that? They're not shooting.
Yeah, are you there? Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with your telephone, but I seem to have lost today. You were, of course, saying that you think the police may have blundered. Well, there will be people who say all kind of things, and that's the point. You didn't know if a guy was dangerous. Obviously, I know the police mission was not to bring him back like this, but circumstances are you didn't know someone who is on the run, and anything can happen. My partner, my colleague there, and comrade Donny is here in studio with me. Donny, good evening to you, brother. Welcome.
Good evening, Simeon. Good evening. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good. just dealing with the situation that just hit us tonight. Having to deal with, this child who no doubt is very important to everyone to get her alive right now. And we are getting the news that the individual in question is no longer alive. So obviously the situation has taken a turn, the event turn of U-turn, and obviously it's urgent that as the people come out and try and see how we can get this child back.
Yes. Good evening to all listeners of Carry FM. Simeon, first of all, I want to commend the police for their resolve, for the commitment, for the discipline, for the hard work in trying to find this child. And today, the police got some results, probably not in the way they wanted to get it, but it's an important step in trying to find this child. They found her abductor. Unfortunately, the police had to do what they had to do, and this man is dead. People were not there at the situation. It really bothers me when people, cast judgment. Because they were not there. You have to be in the situation to understand, how it plays out, right? And it's easy to sit down with your computer and on Facebook and give your opinion, right? But the police are the ones there on the ground, and according to the deputy, they had no other choice. Hopefully, as deputy said, whatever information the guy gave before he passed away will lead us to this little girl. And the deputy has also called for every able-bodied person to come help in the search. So the police is asking us to come help. The abductor, the dangerous man, is no longer in the way, so people need not to fear him. So now everybody who is able should be in the bushes, if they really truly care, trying to find this little girl. Because I really wished that we could have found her today, but it didn't happen today. But she's somewhere out there, and just we have to just go look for her. Everybody who can, let's go hit the bushes and try to find her and bring her home safe.
Yes. Indeed, Donny, and that is very crucial because, if she's alive now, we have to say if because we don't have all the facts in relation to it, and we cannot say whether she is not because, this is really a very, very, we're at a very tender stage right now, whether she's alive or not. But if she is, we need to find her as soon as possible, because obviously he alone would have really known where she was.
Right.
But he is not there. The circumstances, as I said, is not how we would have wanted it, but you're dealing with a dangerous person anyway. Let's take this call there and get what the listeners are saying there. Good evening on the overseas line.
Simeon,
Yes.
I agree, When you go in a battlefield and fight war, you gonna make the enemy kill you?
Not at all.
So what this man talking about the police make a blunder? What kind of blunder the police make? Sometimes I tell you about people, if you haven't got nothing good to say, hush your mouth. Them you making me mad. 5 girls I have, And then the girl is out there somewhere, and you telling me the police make a blunder? Man, if you're man, who got some fast shit, sir, si vous parlez, fais-moi bouche out. Merci.
Yes, I call her. Yes, I. Let's take the local line there. Good evening to you.
Hello, good night.
Yes, good night, my dear.
Doing?
I'm good, thank you, my dear. Yes.
I called from Clark Hall.
Yes.
10 years back, I was under the same situation, and I made it easy with my grandchild. 10 years back, I was in the same situation. And seeing that thing happen again in Dominica, and right in my spot again, Clark Hall again, of Brooklyn up there. That man was. All the 10 they were working for the man, all about the man, all the way Clark Hall, and we don't even know.
So you live in the Clark Hall area?
Clark Hall I live in, that is where I had got my grandchild too.
So your grandchild had disappeared?
10 years back.
And they got her alive?
Yes, the German girl, yes.
So they had gotten her alive. And how long did she
40 days.
So she was away from home. She was kidnapped or something?
She was kidnapped. She was going to school and she had kidnapped.
And for 40 days you all searched for her?
40 days and we could get her.
How old was she, ma'am?
She was 14 years.
Wow. Thank God she's okay, right?
Yes, she's alive and she continued her school and then she's all right now.
Great. Thank God.
But you all got her after 40 days alive?
Yeah, 40 days alive, yes. And then seeing that happen to that young little child of 12 years, it hurts because I myself, I felt it. All the time they was put on the radio, I was following the press like in my camp too. And when they saw the partner Thursday broke it up there, they saw the partner broke it up there. He fling a cutlass behind the boy. And then from that, the boy was going up yesterday. The boy said he was going up last night because he have a mind he will come back after and he go back down because he was still up there himself alone. And then today, he took his dog and he was making wrong in this place because he know it's the biggest state, Brooklyn is the biggest state, about 100 acres of land in Brooklyn up there.
Wow.
And then wherever he get 2 boys with him to track the place and blah 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 whatever. But you could see where he was going by the river, lying river there, eating mangoes, going up late in the night, and whatever. And then they put out to find him today and they catch him. I am happy. But the only thing I feel a little sad of, not to say of the death, in a way, but in a way I really didn't want him to die. Because I want him to stay alive and that he could have tell them where he put the person's child.
Yes.
Where he put the person's child. But I understand he said the child is in Wana and whatever story. But he did not and he say everything. Okay? So I only hoping that they get the child alive. I only hoping that they get the infection. I only hoping that the good Lord in heaven, because God is good, is real.
So I just wanted to ask you just before you leave, though. I mean, in as much as you had experienced such a situation before, you actually had your daughter who was in your granddaughter, you said it was?
Yeah, my granddaughter.
Your granddaughter was in such a situation. Did you all actually find her in a home, or did you all find her in the forest?
She was in, well, I was not there when they got into the forest. I get them. I get her right up in the bush under the mountain, up by his side, by his estate up there. On the Nivona up there, by his estate up there, his place up there. They get her. And then the night they get her, they bring her tongue and they check her and they do what they have to do with her and blah, 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 until she was in a kind of a way, like a little, she wasn't feeling 100% anyhow.
Yes.
Then the psychiatric have to little days and whatever. But anyhow, God bring her back.
Praise the Lord.
Praise God. It's 10 years now since that happened, 2011.
Yes.
Well, ma'am, after going through the situation, I can only imagine how this situation could impact you again. Bring back the memories.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It wasn't good at all. It wasn't good. It was not good at all. It was painful.
Yeah, I can understand.
I know what the family going through.
Yeah.
And especially at that age of that child, and the man didn't have the child with him neither. The man was himself alone by himself, and he didn't have the child with him. So I don't know why he did the person child.
So when they saw him those who saw him, you said obviously saw him, they didn't see the child at any moment at all with him.
No. No. The child wasn't with him. No, the child wasn't with him. So that man lived by one place, and that man was around our area there, and people didn't even know. So he didn't have no child with him. He didn't have child with him. Yeah.
Wow.
Hoping that they get the child, praying that they get the child alive. So I don't know if his costume have more, what he do, but we just don't know. But hoping that they get the child in Jesus' name.
Amen.
God is able.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing it for us. Thank you for sharing it for us. Thank you.
Okay,
Take care.
I tried to call Wally, but I couldn't get you.
Yes. I'm really happy you got on tonight to share with us. It's very important what you just said.
Okay, darling. Okay, sweetheart. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Yes, and what she's saying there is very important, Donnie, because you are now talking about the fact that after 40 days of her grandchild being kidnapped and being held in as she said, in the jungle up there, in this estate, they were able to find her alive. That creates some sense of hope, that although it's 10 days,
11 days now.
11 days now since the kidnapping of this child there, but it creates the sense of hope even in my mind listening to this grandmother, obviously, that they found the child even after 40 days. It's almost that think of how she survived, but she did survive anyway, even though it did have a psychological impact on her, she said. But we have to believe that very same can happen for this young child who's 12 years old, and that the police is on the search. They are continuing the search. The civilians are being called upon. The general public is being called upon to assist in this process and to see how soon we can bring this child home.
Yeah.
It of us creates some hope, Donnie.
Absolutely. I thought the same thing when she said that. When she said 40 days that her granddaughter, survived, kidnapping, and so I felt the same with Simeon. That at least give us a little hope that Kanisha may be still, be safe, be okay, be alive and okay. So hopefully, and I'm sure the police are going to give guidance and briefings, and they will direct this search, because they are the ones who are, who found the guy and who spoke to the guy. So what we have to do now is just report to the police and let the police guide the search, and because I'm sure the police know what they're doing, and having found the guy today, I'll let you know that they are real professionals at what they do, and they are reliable, and we should trust their judgment and the guidance. So hopefully the police will lead us to directions where we can find Kanisha.
Indeed. Let's take a call there on the overseas line there. Caller, good evening to you on the overseas line.
My brother, Simeon, good evening.
Hey, good evening to you, brother. Good evening to you. Welcome.
Thank you guys for taking the call. So I'm listening this evening and I'm hearing all these calls about mistakes. We can't be armchair quarterbacking this situation. It is what it is already. It has happened already, and we gotta continue.
Yeah, can you just speak up a little bit as if I'm hearing you a little bit low? Yes. Yeah.
So I remember back in Tumba days, they shot Tumba when they found him. They shot him. Tumba never regained consciousness. He died at PMH. You know, so people are talking all this stuff about deliberate, and you cannot just put too much blame on the officers. They are there to do their work. I know one of the reasons up here in the States that police officers don't shoot. I'm not blaming anybody, but I know one of the reasons people always say, why don't you shoot him in the leg and stuff? The reason that they don't shoot you in the leg is because you have a moral artery that runs up your leg, and if you nick that bad boy, you're dead in 12 seconds. God forbid I wasn't there. Because he says he shot him in his leg, I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, but the police has not actually reported on the detail of how he was shot or not shot or his injuries. It's just it's just the general public that's basically people who are speculating on or sending different information. But I'm sure we'll get an official report as to maybe some more detail on that. Yes.
I'm sure, but and also I want to touch on how toxic Q95 and the leader of the opposition.
Go right ahead, yes.
I listen to these guys, man, and this is just, I can't stomach that. I mean, it's just toxic rhetoric. I mean, I can't stand that. You're bragging and you're boasting about the guy being on the ground, and you see a picture of the man standing isolated from everybody else. What is his purpose doing there? What is his purpose there? What is he doing there? Is it a photo op? And if it's a photo op, it's a bad photo op because it doesn't see you planning or you're putting together a contingency team to take any action. I mean, I God forbid, I just can't understand the thinking of this man. This man enjoyed his 50th birthday. Martin Edward enjoyed the 50th birthday. All these people enjoyed their 50th birthday. 50th birthday is a milestone. Everybody enjoyed their 50th birthday. So because he's the prime minister, because there's a crisis, he mustn't enjoy his 50th birthday. He ain't coming back around. You know what I'm saying? And for these people to mix birthday and politics and all the nonsense and people just gravitate to this and just spew that hatred, this toxic venom that these people think. They're going to be victims to their own rhetoric because you cannot continually just spew those things and this doesn't affect your health and your mental health. I mean, if people don't see that these people are worth nothing, these people are no good, they're not worth a grain of salt. You come on, man, come on. I just can't even put my thoughts together on how disturbed I was by the toxicity of the program on Monday. And you're interviewing a woman, and the lady's talking about the child in the past tense, and your brain can't even tell you what. Ask the question, well, why are you referring to the kids in the past tense? None of them.
Yes.
I would jog our memory and say, why are you referring to this kid in the past tense? She had, and nobody, they had psychologists and everything, and none of them figured that out. I just pray, man, that this kid, it breaks my heart.
Yes.
That, I mean, this kid, the perpetrator is dead, and there's no sign of this kid, and God forbid, man, I just can't imagine the worst. I don't even want to go there, man.
Yes.
I got kids, man, and I'm telling you, that would be a heartbreaker.
I know.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing for us there. Of course, I want to take a short break there. When I come back, we're going to continue this discussion. We're going to engage the public there. The telephones are still going, so please stay tuned. Coming right back with you, where we're going to continue this discussion. As you know, there is an urgent search to find this child wherever she is. Of course, we just heard from a grandmother there who had a very similar situation there, 40 days. Her daughter was kidnapped and she was found in the Heights. And so, yes, people, we are dealing with real time, and sometimes, situations go bad. That's why we always say, the devil is alive, is living among us, doing the wickedness on the earth. And we have to pray and pray and ask for the safe return of this child. So coming right back, going to take a short break. When I come back there, we will definitely continue with this discussion. So please stand by and stay tuned as we take a short break there and coming right back with you, the listeners.
Everybody! We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. They could come with propaganda, all their lies and all the slander, try to mislead the people with their hate and all their evil. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The best thing that happened to this country is Garrett and the Labour Party. We wanna bring to bankruptcy. Now have a growth in the economy. Got a leader with endless vision, youthfulness and dedication. Suspect that things would be tight. Went to China on the next flight. Cuba and Venezuela. What a brilliant leader. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be.
Yes, welcome back to you wherever you are joining us this evening as we continue with our discussion here tonight. The critical search for this missing young lady continues, and the police obviously is busy at work there as they have reported. I want to play for you, the listeners, those of you who may have missed it. Let us hear what the Deputy Commissioner of Police had to say with regard to the situation that took place earlier on this afternoon with the continued search for this child. Let's listen here again to Deputy Commissioner of Police Lincoln Cobbett as he reported this press briefing here earlier on this evening.
The search for Kenisha Etienne by the police has been relentless from the day she was abducted from her home by Kian Alexander on the 7th of June 2022. At about 3:15 p.m. on the 18th of June 2022, while searching in the Brook Hill estate, a police patrol team encountered Kian armed with a cutlass about 3 feet long. The police attempted to apprehend him. He charged at the police with the cutlass. The police took action to subdue him by shooting at his legs. The police took immediate action to render first aid. During that time, he said certain things to the police as to the possible whereabouts of Kenisha Etienne. As a result, the search has been intensified in the area to find Kenisha Etienne. The ambulance and the district medical officer were summoned, and he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. We are soliciting all able-bodied people to assist the police with the search for Kenisha Etienne. I wish to commend all the officers and members of the public who have been relentless in searching for Kenisha. We also wish to commend the public for the trust and confidence in the police. Our main focus has been and remains the safe return of Kenisha Etienne to her family.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Welcome back to you, the listeners. On the line with me there is the Senior Minister there. Good evening to you, Senior Minister. Welcome.
Yeah. Good evening, Simeon. Good evening to your co-host.
Good evening, Senior Minister.
Yes, my brother. Let me say good night to all Dominicans at home and abroad and listen to this very important program. Simeon, the instructions are tonight that we keep this very short so we can give as many people as an opportunity to express the views, and I intend to do just that. I'm a disciplined man. I follow instructions.
Yeah, right. Go ahead, Senior Minister.
I want to join the call in the return of this young lady alive and well and in good health. And Simeon, the God I serve is an awesome God. And I believe this matter, the Lord gives health and he takes health. And I want to say that this matter is in the hands of God. And I believe that God will decide and determine what is right. I believe that this young girl is alive. I believe personally that she's well. And I believe that she'll be returned to her family. She'll be returned to Dominica in good health. Simon, I want to compliment the police and all the volunteers who were out there for the last 11 or so days searching for this young lady and for the gentleman. The diligence, the tolerance is commendable, Simeon.
Mm-hmm.
And Simeon, I'm not sure if you can recall in the interview with the mother, they were almost blaming the police for not having shot the guy.
Yeah, apparently
you guys remember that?
Yeah, the father actually said that the police should actually shoot him in the foot or something like that. Yes, what should happen?
And they were blaming the police for this matter having gotten to that far because the police had not shot the guy.
That's true.
In his leg or in his foot, and they were angry that the police had not shot the guy. And tonight we hear the police is saying that they attempted to shoot the guy in his leg. Simeon, really, let's be real. Simeon, in what part of the world would you be searching for a young 12-year-old girl missing? You found her doctor, you don't know where she is, and you would shoot him before you know where the child is? Does this make rational sense to you?
No sense at all, Senior Minister.
To whom would that make sense? We don't know where the child is. The police don't know where she is. The police got the guy who have her. He's the only person who knows where she is. And if the police had any choice, they would have taken him alive. And the police said they tried to shoot him in his leg, as was recommended by the father and the mother and the family.
Yes.
So we don't know where he got shot. The police have not said, and we're not going to speculate. I don't know where he got shot, and we're not going to speculate. I can only take what the police is saying, that they tried to shoot him in his leg, which is what the parents were asking the police to do even before this incident. Shoot him in his leg. Simo.
Yes, indeed.
So Simo, I mean, all these people out there, and again, you see, Simo, and this thing is so labeled with political mischief, and that is the sad part of this whole episode.
Yes.
Right. The Prime Minister is the head of the country, the Prime Minister is the head of the armed forces, the Prime Minister is the head of everything.
The Commander-in-Chief.
And Commander-in-Chief, Donnie, you're an army man. I mean, the President of the United States is the Commander-in-Chief.
That's right.
He has to give the final signal to go ahead.
That's
You
right.
understand?
That's right.
And every time this country is in crisis, the Prime Minister shows up for duty. The Prime Minister showed up for duty. We take as just not to prolong the discussion, to be short. For Erica, the Prime Minister showed up for duty. And when he invited the opposition, Leonard Clinton, to come, they came for a few days. And while he was waiting to be asked to be Prime Minister for a week or whatever, they back out. During Maria, the Prime Minister showed up for duty, which is his right and his duty to do. Now, this was a crisis that the country found itself in, and the Prime Minister showed up for duty.
That's right.
The Prime Minister took charge of the operation in his capacity as the Commander-in-Chief. You hear me, Simo?
Loud and clear.
So, my brother, so what is the problem? Had he stayed in his bed and sleep and so on, they would have said, well, the Prime Minister is not on side. Nobody can see the Prime Minister. Like they said for the opposition, because the opposition was missing in action. Then that's when Clinton went up there to pose. The only thing he didn't have with him was his dog. But he went up there to pose for the cameras. That's what he went up there to do. He didn't want to look for no child. Up to now, Leonard Clinton has not expressed one word of empathy for this young child.
That's right.
My brother, not one word of empathy. In fact, the empathy was towards the guy.
Senior Minister, as a matter of fact, Leonard Clinton was mocking the fact that the child was not found.
That's right. And they were always saying about the guy, and they were, the mother and everybody, they were protecting the guy. They were not onto the child. Because she said, I know my child is safe, so don't worry about the child, but I don't want him to shoot my son.
You hear me, my brother?
Loud and clear, brother. Loud and clear.
So, I mean, it's just a pity tonight because there's a lot I would like to say tonight because even up to Friday night, they were making a mockery on a 2-hour program they have from 6 to 8. They were making a mockery of the situation. Where they were saying that scary dog, so that scary dogs, and I guess they're referring to me, but this is all right. This is fine. Oh, it's scary to have a big dog in his cabinet. Let the dog go and look for the girl. I mean, Simon, that is trivializing the matter to the lowest level.
Oh, of course,
Imagine
man.
that. That's shameful. That's shameful.
I mean, Donnie, I didn't hear them, Donnie, and I really don't care. And in fact, I like when they attack me. Because it means that Donnie, that all of us on the program, we hitting them where it hits the hardest. Because I said that the United Workers' Party is to be blamed for the state of lawlessness and criminal activity that is taking place in this country right now.
And I agree with you.
It's something that they have been asking for. They have been calling for boots on the ground. They have been calling to disrespect the police. They have been calling to stun the police. I'm Donnie and Simeon. They call the young people criminals with knives and bottles and cutlass, waiting to kill Chinese and Haitians. You remember that? Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Waiting to kill Chinese and Haitian, making Chinese and Haitian the problem in this country. And they encouraging criminal activity. That every time some criminal go is because of poverty, or it's because people are work while they're killing people, or it's because people are work while they're shooting each other. We're making excuses for criminal activity in this country. The United Workers' Party is encouraging criminal activity in this country by consistently making excuses for criminal activity and finding a reason why somebody kills somebody, why somebody shoots somebody. In fact, they're saying that it's because of poverty and hunger, why the guy kidnapped this 12-year-old child. That's the United Workers' Party, my brother.
That's sick.
And they have so-called intelligent people. They are so-called intelligent people. Well, intelligent because that's the common name, but people who know how to pass exams. And I've always learned, Donnie, that it's not because you pass an exam you're right, you know.
You're right.
You can pass an exam. You can cheat. You can copy. You can buy your degree. So there's nothing to say that a man with a degree who passed an exam is a bright man. And more begin to believe this. Because on that same Friday night program, there's a particular doctor who has shown himself to be a disgrace to black people. A disgrace to your race by allowing a racist man to give him instructions, a racist white American to take instructions from Richard. That is where the United Workers' Party getting the advice and the instructions from. And this bright doctor is part of the cabal taking instructions from a racist white man. And then he can't talk about his blackness and his black liberation. But I will deal with that another time. I don't want to disobey the instruction I have written. But just to say, Simeon, that I believe that this young lady will be returned. She'll be found alive. If the God I serve, Simeon, is the God that you and Donnie serve.
Yes, we pray for.
Amen.
By our faith. And Dominicans must never cease to pray and to have faith and believe that God can heal every wound. God can correct every situation. And if it's the will of God that this child be found alive, this child will be found alive by the will and by the grace of God.
Amen.
And I believe, and it will happen. So let us go out there. No, we cannot join the search. We do not have to go and chasing after some mad fella. I'm running around with the bush. We need to search because that child is somewhere.
Yes.
That child is somewhere. And we will find that child. And we'll find that child alive. And we'll find that child well. And all this negative stuff, all this negativity, let us put that behind us. The police knows best, my brother. The police were fighting a violent man whose mother told the police they must shoot the guy in his leg. And they're disappointed that the police did not shoot him. I'd rather you say you aim for the leg, but you're not sure where that bullet's going to take.
Especially with someone who is, of course, running and trying to escape.
A moving target in the bush, Donnie. Donnie, you're a soldier. You're shooting at a moving target in the bush with all these obstructions. Oh, yes, you might go for the leg.
Not sure
You might go for the leg.
is like and all that stuff,
But you cannot be sure, Donnie, until I'm not a military man. You're the military man. Anyway, gentlemen.
Yes, Senor.
Very good program. Let me get on the radio. Let some people call. But I have some things that I need to say.
Yes.
But I will say it in a more sober mood when the temperature has been taken down a little bit. But now the priority for us now is find the young lady alive, to give the police all the support that they require, and to assist. And now we can go out there in the hundreds now, and we can comb the area, because we know that child is somewhere. She's not moving. She's somewhere. So I think it's an easier search for her than it was for the guy, because the guy kept moving all over the place and we kept going in circles. But we're hoping that this young lady, she's not tied, her stomach is filled one way or the other, and also God will fill her stomach if she gets hungry. He will feed her if she gets thirsty. He will shelter her if she doesn't have proper shelter. The Lord will take care of it. Let us play our part and let the good Lord play his part. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night. God bless.
Thank
you, Minister.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you, Senior Minister, for joining us here tonight. And this child, that we're hearing about there, that is missing there. I heard in the reports, that is the statements that were being made by the members of the family. They also spoke about her mom, who went missing 8 years ago. I'm not sure I really remember that particular event, but because time has gone by and sometimes these things happen and you don't always. But that was also said by the family. So it is, somewhat. I said tonight there, wow. I felt like I hope that, and I pray that her daughter doesn't really end up in the very same way that the mother ended up, where she just disappeared and they did not find her. 8 years now, she was never found, and a 12-year-old now is being placed in a very similar situation by this this guy who basically just went nuts and did what he did, and now it's fate have it now that he is not there to be able to, well, in person, and as we say tonight, we did heard that the police said that he said something, so we're really keeping our fingers crossed and praying that as soon as we can get this child. But let's take a call on the local line. Good evening to you on the local line.
More. And a guy called earlier on and saying the police blender. When I heard, I wish he was continuing his talk, because I find this man is an idiot.
We don't want to
that way about the police.
Yeah, but we don't want to go down that way of arguing with a caller who called in. But I guess
another thing,
different.
I want to be certain that Lennox, say my prime minister, I don't know if he played that preparation.
Well, we have really gone on that road, mommy. Right now, I'm very focused on trying to sensitize. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Let's stick on that let's stick on that as you did earlier. One of the things we want to do is we want to try and make sure that tonight that we can, pray for this child wherever she's in a situation, that we can give the law enforcement the support that they have asked the public for, in order to ensure that we can have the safe return of this child after having basically experienced the loss of the guy who basically knew where she was. And so there have to be a real urgent search of the area, particularly where they have identified that he was surrounding or patronizing, as we heard from one of the callers who said tonight there that she was, he used to go to the river. So there are areas where he was seen very frequently, Donny, and no doubt the search will continue to even as we speak, to seek to bring her home safely.
Yes, absolutely, Simeon, and that's what I want to do. I want to send an appeal to everybody who's like the police said, who's able-bodied, to join the search. The police is asking for your support now, right? Previously, they said they didn't want too many people, or they cut the numbers down, because I think they were being strategic, in the search. They knew what they were doing, right? And then now that they found the abductor, he, like the deputy said, he gave them certain information which leads them to believe that the girl may be somewhere, right? So the police is asking for the public support now. And the public must show up now to go up in large numbers. And like Senior Minister said, the abductor is out of the way. The child is somewhere, probably stationary. So We need numbers to go up there and assist the police, and let's go find this little girl.
Indeed, Donny. On the overseas line, caller, good evening to you as we continue our program tonight. Caller, good evening.
Yes, brother Simeon, fireman touching base, and I must put my 2 cents because a great moment, the cloud a little clan of Simeon. You see me? But
Yeah.
living to the great Simeon and my great brother Donny, a great soul in the army. You know that. But anyhow, Simeon, great moment in our life right now. Well and truly, the senior minister talk, and when senior minister put the fire, have to put the fire hotter because senior minister is you. That's why for the senior minister, all them man talking about senior minister. Oh, he decided because why? He don't just come. He's an ancient man. You know, everything that happens, he don't just come. But anyhow, senior in the program. See, but you know something? Long man has been Christian police, I always say, because I always say again, nobody talking for me, talking for myself, because I listen in, I don't have sense, but I have a little sense, I can listen and overstand for myself, right? When you want to be a politician, as I say, people employ you. You want to be cursing the security of your country, which is the security, the policemen. Policemen good living to all you, enough love and respect. Fireman take enough love for you, bless all you. You know what I'm saying? You want to curse the policeman night and day. Every living day you have a problem with the police, right? Now, only time when somebody visiting you, when Chokchik come across, you can make a money, you working with Chokchik. The child disappear, up and never make a good statement to your people and your friends and your company and tell them, well, come and give us a little strength. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. But you've been saying now, World Boss want to be a hero. How World Boss can be a hero? My name World Boss. How World Boss can be a hero? When is the Prime Minister of the country, Simeon? Right? Anything happening in the country, not World Boss business, Abobo.
Well, I mean, not only that, they make everything his business.
Simeon, I'm not going to Simeon. Simeon, you is the king of your home. You have your wife and your princess, right? When you go home, everybody's daddy and husband and to say no. Husband have a voice. You know what I'm saying? We employ World Boss and the Labour family to do our work for us in the country and for the people. So anybody have a problem in the country, it can be even World Boss and his company, whosoever. We have to work with them, just like when the fella talking when was garbage, when they had the problem, they call World Boss and helicopter and all kind of thing happening, they get him fast and quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's happening. So it's my World Boss have to be a hero. It's with us hero because we don't employ World Boss because we want the reason we will employ World Boss. World Boss has lived a long time. World Boss needs to have a bash for his 50th anniversary. I will get them man hear my voice. Even if you don't invite me, I will take a background coming saying we bought it. That is life. You know, he have my thing for me. He say, I have a little great for me private, but anyhow, that is life. So we have to give World Boss, I tell you, Simon, you see right now, we don't know about this, Simon. We have to make sure World Boss healthy, World Boss safe and strong, you know, Simeon. I'm telling you, Simeon.
Yeah, man.
If World Boss have a problem, we have a problem, Simeon.
True.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
So we have to be security to the World Boss. Just is security to us, you know, Simeon. So the policemen now do a great job. Because the policemen for a long time, they don't want the brother dead. They don't want the brother to get no injury. So, which means if the police getting dead, it's something that go wrong where you get dead, Simeon. You know what I'm saying? Even I don't have sense, Simeon, have a little sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which again,
Yeah.
because if the police them saying personally that they don't want the brother to get no injury, they don't get it, whosoever find him. So if the police get in contact with him and they end up getting him dead, it's something that go wrong because, Simeon, to me personally as a fireman, that man is a dangerous, no-face, dangerous, evil, malicious man. You can have a wrong match at them and dangerous. So if the man is matched to police and put them down, they will say them police is garbage. You know what I'm telling you?
Yes,
but we have to defend ourselves, I get it real. This man, we don't want, really want him. We want him, but we still don't want him. We want the princess. You know what I'm saying? So we know the mission is the princess. So if the police find him and have the princess, and they cannot find the princess, and that happened, he dead, it's because of something that's wrong, because I say he's a dangerous person. You know what I'm saying? So we have to give thanks for them police. So right now we need the whole family now to come together to find the princess. Is she alive? But what I have to say again too now, whosoever have that princess, just Simeon, you know all the jail you can have to take it, whosoever involved. You are telling Simeon, serious thing, you know, Simeon, whosoever involved in having that princess, wheresoever they have her there, because right now the fella disappear, he can't come back, he have a voice again. You know what I'm telling you, Simeon?
Yes.
So whosoever involved in that princess there, the amount of years we have to give that fella there, all I want him dead personally, same way I have no face, because that man personally, that man destroy our image, destroy our country, and when some people outside there talking the garbage, every day, also the other day, I just hear news, I'm on 74 years, go in the church and kill how many people in America? We don't have that in our country. It's just them fellas that disturb. They have the evil power there. They have the evil ways. They have the malice. They function. They tomate. They're very malicious. You know what I'm saying? So whosoever that you're telling you against Simeon, they have to take more years than what the fellas have to take because the whole country was in problem. All different things happening because of that problem, that simple little problem. And we have to make that little princess a national hero in our country because why? She make herself a national hero, not her. But the father work mystically and mysteriously. You know what I mean? That princess have to be she has to be a great, great little empress. And I know for sure, whosoever I tell again, bring the person child to the government, so whosoever to get, so we are being full responsibility because right now that is our princess. That's my princess. Personally, I don't know the rest. You mean like your princess also. That is Donny princess, right? Don't talk about the whole boss. You know what I'm telling you?
Yeah, man. Respect.
When them talking the garbage, Simeon. Them man don't love our country, Simeon. Never tell again. Them man don't love our country. Because when you say you want Chucksy to bring our country to jail or to court, you can't love the country because the whole possible in country. Bring the country to court, my lord. Get it straight. You know what I'm telling you, boy, Simeon, I'm telling you, see, Chum
yeah, man.
for me, and I well glad. Chum tell me when you coming down soon, and I work in with Chum. Whole bossing already, we love you. Nobody can stop you. You put yourself there. We employ all you there. And we put all you there for a reason and a purpose to develop our country and our people and the whole Caribbean and the world. You have one of the best brands in the Caribbean. Nobody can stop that. Right now, there, I do give them fellas list. They need to get a branch from you because you're a mystic man and a mystical man. Nobody can stop you.
Yes,
God is in you, the spirit, the moment, everything is in you. You love and respect humanity. So all who jealous and bad mind Pharaoh and Judas and Barabbas, step aside or you have no credit left. Simeon Wolbos, good evening to you, my great big brother, What? A great brother. Good evening to you also, Mammy married by Mammy call already married the same way. Stephanie, you know already my original lawyer, Mr. Moses. And Mr. Parker, good evening to you. You know what I'm saying? Mammy,
yes, sir.
St. Martin, and let me big up the Shillingford sisters in Salisbury. Good evening to all you also. Simeon, we have a country to
thank you, man.
He can do it by himself. We need all hands on board. Up and running.
Take care, brother.
Yes,
I. Yeah, man. Thank you again for your contribution. Let's go right to the telephone there again. Telephones are going there. Good evening on the local line.
I'm serving the Lord Almighty, Creator of the universe. He is my refuge and strength.
You have said
did you put down the phone on me when I was?
Maybe you said the prayer. I was talking to you. I told you that we didn't want to go down the road with the things you were saying, and so I explained to you we had to end the call there. We had to go keep the calls flowing. Tonight is not the time for that. I've given you sufficient time to speak and to make your point. You have to learn to discipline yourself when it comes to the calling of the program, and when the host tell you time is up, it's very important that you conduct yourself in that way, especially where we are dealing with the public. Please do that for us tonight. You are 84 years and I have a lot of respect for you. I would like you to share the same with us as we continue to have this important discussion. I want us to listen again to the statement by the Deputy Police Commissioner, who obviously is speaking to this very serious matter that have taken place today, where the guy who is involved, some people say he was a lunatic, obviously is dead now, and the child in question, we have to find her urgently, because this is a situation where time is of essence right now. Whether or not she is alive, wherever she may be, this guy who knows where she is, who maybe could have really gotten to her if she is still alive, we have to use the word if because we don't know the facts on that. He is no longer there, and obviously her life is critical, and it is now up to the citizens of the country to come together, to work together with the police. As Senior Minister alluded to, there is no danger currently where the guy has any cutlass or is in the forest, or with civilians having to be in the forest, that their lives could be in danger because of him. That is now out of the way right now. What is it critical now is that we can bring this young lady home safely to her parents and continue our lives.
The search for Kenisha Etienne by the police has been relentless from the day she was abducted from her home by Kian Alexander on the 7th of June 2022. At about 3:15 p.m. on the 18th of June 2022, while searching in the Broke Hill estate, a police patrol team encountered Kian armed with a cutlass about 3 feet long. The police attempted to apprehend him. He charged at the police with the cutlass. The police took action to subdue him by shooting at his legs. The police took immediate action to render first aid. During that time, he said certain things to the police as to the possible whereabouts of Kenisha Etienne. As a result, the search has been intensified in the area to find Kenisha Etienne. The ambulance and the district medical officer were summoned, and he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. We are soliciting all able-bodied people to assist the police with the search for Kenisha Etienne. I wish to commend all the officers and members of the public who have been relentless in searching for Kenisha. We also wish to commend the public for the trust and confidence in the police. Our main focus has been and remains the safe return of Kenisha Etienne to her family. Thank you.
Yes, indeed, Adonai, the police is saying that their main focus now and I suppose their primary focus is to really, really search this place like a fine-tooth comb to really find where this child is. I mean, it's critical right now.
Absolutely, it is critical. It is urgent. It is desperate, and the police is right. We have the police is gonna lead the search, and with the civilians who are willing to go out there, like you said, search the areas with a fine-tooth comb. And I have no doubt in my mind, if people turn up, we're gonna find this child, Simeon.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt in my mind.
Because now is really the time when you need the support. Now, Donnie, as I was saying earlier, there were some people who felt a little bit aggrieved because while this initial search was being conducted, the police felt, they didn't want the civilians to continue the search with them some days ago. And I guess there were reasons why the police felt the importance, because when we heard, for example, one of the callers who called earlier, who spoke to the fact that, when they saw this guy, the fact that he had a cutlass and what he was, how dangerous he was, looking at the time. Obviously, it would be a serious cause for concern to have civilians going out and encountering this guy who obviously was so dangerous. But before you comment, let's take this call on the overseas line there. Good evening to you on the overseas line, caller.
Mr. Simeon.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Donnie, good night. What's up?
Good night, Paulo. What's up?
I good, man. I good.
All right, I'm fine.
Nice to hear you, boy.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, Simeon.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to Mr. Austri. I listen to Mr. Corbett. But let me tell you, somebody may say that I talking rubbish, but I'm happy in a way that this guy is not alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not happy that he did not really indicate as to where the child is. The two things. Good. But my happiness is because this guy captured alive would have to be how you call it, be brought to the prison or to the police. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The state would have to pay. The state would have to pay to feed him. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The state would have to spend money to feed him. Now, if there was going to be a court case, the state would always have to pay a lawyer to represent him in court.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that is a savings that the government will not have to pay. Okay? They don't have to pay to feed him. They don't have to pay a lawyer to represent him in court. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That is my contribution.
All right, my brother. Yes, Well, you see, Donnie, you will have a lot of different people who think different. But Donnie, one of the things that touched me, though, coming down to the station, hearing the news about this missing girl was, I was listening to Loftus Duran and some of the different people who, of course, carrying their live on Facebook, and they're followed by, people who are commenting and obviously sharing the information that they're getting, is when he went on to make a statement as if, he have it from a source, and his source, that the police are giving the public the impression that the intention of the police was to take out Mr., and again, putting an angle and a political twist to it again to give the impression that that's what the intention was, when, the police have said otherwise. I spoke with the Minister for National Security, Mr. Reuben Blackmore, who said that they want to ensure that they can bring this guy back alive so that he can assist in the search and to be able to ensure that it would make it easier to retrieve this young lady wherever he have a tie or hidden or locked in. And to hear that the police did not even give a statement yet because we heard from the deputy commissioner earlier on tonight, but the police had not even offered a statement on what the circumstances are or between what transpired. But here you had, again, the politics of these guys taking on social media again, putting a twist, and as if to say he initially knew that it was the plan of the police when the police said, it tells you how they take these things to another level, Donny.
Yeah, Simeon, unfortunately, that's the result of people who have been brainwashed, who have been injected with a toxic dose of stupidity and ignorance. These people are conditioned to hate the police, okay? They harass the police, they hate the police, and that is because their leader is the chieftain who is always hostile towards the police. So no matter what the police does, they're going to find reason to criticize the police, right? Even in this situation, where the police have been out there every single day and night trying to find this girl, this child, right? And I see some comments on Facebook is an extrajudicial killing and probably they killed the guy because he was not really the kidnapper. All kinds of nonsense, Simeon. Yes. All kinds of conspiracies, And I mean, the child's not even found yet.
Exactly my point. She's not even found yet.
And these guys cannot curb, the urge to attack the police and to be toxic and to be stupid, right? We have to appreciate the police of Dominica, because these guys have a very difficult task, Simeon.
Yes.
A very difficult task, because, like Senior Minister said, some part of our society have been trained, have been taught to disobey the law of Dominica, right? To do what they want by a deranged leader of opposition, right? So, I mean, that's not the time for this, right? The focus should be finding this little girl.
Yes.
And if these people are really interested in that, they would jump on board, they would follow the police advice and lead and go look for this child. As simple as that.
Of course, let me just read this message. Someone is saying there on social media, on Kyrie FM Facebook page, of course, we need the police and the group of people to bring our princess Kenisha back home. And the person saying, Lord, please put a hand that she is alive in Jesus' name. And we all say amen to that. Obviously, Donny, this is a critical time in the country where, and someone said to me that there are places where children go missing. You don't see what is happening in Dominica happening, where so many civilians and the entire the Prime Minister literally called for the entire public service to get involved in bringing this child home. And someone was telling me, they know of so many countries where children, you hear reports of children being reported missing, but that doesn't prevent nobody really gives it the kind of attention as we saw in the case of this missing child. Something that was extraordinary, Donny, in terms of how Dominic and the leadership that we have continued to demonstrate.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm not surprised, because this is who we have in government. We have a leader of a country who cares, right? Who cares about everybody, and when as soon as he got back from his trip, he hit the ground running. You understand? He showed up. He made resources available to the police. He spoke to the public, right? Because that's what leaders do. In times of tragedy, your leaders have to give you hope, give you comfort, give you advice, right? Not take it and play politics, right? And when we have one man saying the Prime Minister wants to be a hero.
I mean, frankly speaking, I found this statement by the leader of the opposition in relation to the care that the Prime Minister, I don't want to play that, I think it's appropriate now at this time that I can bring that into the discussion, because we are speaking about this missing child, but what the leader of the opposition said in relation to that, and with the Prime Minister being broken, songs like I want to play that because I want to give some comment on that. Let me just play that, let the listeners understand what he actually said.
The Prime Minister is playing politics, not anybody else. He's leading the political play with the search and rescue effort. You must recall that everybody is saying he's the one in charge. You heard the National Security Minister saying that he's getting his instructions from the Prime Minister, who was overseas at the time the search and rescue effort began. And everybody else is the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister. What you're hearing there today is a broken man, who is totally disappointed that the little girl, 12-year-old, Kanisha Etienne, has not yet been rescued. She's still out there in the bush somewhere. And the search and rescue effort that he is in charge of has not succeeded to date.
I don't know how you read into that statement, but when I heard the leader of the opposition, I'm like, I mean, why would you not be broken? He said he perhaps songs like a broken man, but why would you not be broken as a human being, as a person who are supposed to be responsible for a constituency, a country? Why would you not be broken when you know that a 12-year-old was kidnapped? What is supposed to be her relative was cutlass, hache, how you want to call it in our local palang, severely. How would you not be broken when you know this child is out there with all the resources that have been put forward? You still cannot find her. Even as we speak now, we are still broken by the fact that this guy was shot. Yes, he's dead. But this young child is still not found yet. If you are human and you have a heart, and you truly care about people and their livelihood, wouldn't you be broken, Donnie, to know that, this child is out there. You don't know where she is, whether she's having a meal, what is her condition, whether she's alive, whether she's dead. The situation as it is now, who would not be broken, Donnie?
Well, Simeon, I can tell you, over the past 11 days, every morning I wake up. First thing I do, I grab my phone, hoping to get some good news that this child was found, right? And every time I don't see that, my shoulders drop. Every time.
Yes.
Right? My shoulders drop. My heart just sinks. Right? And that is the feeling of many people around Dominica. And I'm sure the Prime Minister also. Right? Now, Mr. Linton sees that. The child not being rescued, not being found, as the Prime Minister's failure. Right? So he could play politics with it. He says the Prime Minister, in that clip you just played.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying the Prime Minister is in charge. Who's in charge of the country? Who is in charge of the country, Simeon? Tell me.
Well, as far as I know, the 18 seats was given to Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dr. Skerrit and the Labour Party to run the affairs of the state for 5 years, which continues even as we speak. And we are just into the middle of that. So Dr. Skerrit obviously is responsible for the security of this country, no doubt.
Absolutely. Dominica has one Prime Minister. Only one. It's Roosevelt Skerrit. And he's in charge. Okay? So he, like Honorable Austria said, he shows up for duty. It is his duty to ensure that things go well, to ensure that everything that needs to be done is put in place, to ensure the post has the resources to go and find this child and to be briefed on the operation, to be briefed every day or every hour or whatever it is. Right? He is in charge. So when Linton sits there talking about, oh, is this song broken? If you had a heart, you'd be broken too.
Yes.
Right? Yes. If you love people, you'd be broken too. If you care for this 12-year-old girl who is somewhere in the woods, my God, somewhere in the woods, in the wild, under the rain, being scratched by branches or bitten by ants or whatever and he was a mad man with a cutlass. You'd be broken too if you cared. But he's not broken. He sounds happy. She's not found.
Sounded that way too, man.
That's how he sounds. So he can go on Q and talk nonsense about the Prime Minister. You know, and that just illustrates, Simeon, what we've been saying all along. This man is soulless. He doesn't have a heart. He doesn't have a heart, Simeon. And he shows it every single day. Yeah. So and what is so disturbing about this, Simeon, right? This word about the Prime Minister wants to be a hero. Right? When Linton wants help, when he wants help, he knows to pick up the phone and call the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Right? The Prime Minister can be a hero to him, to save his skin. When he got arrested, when he got detained in Antigua for being a nuisance and was being deported, he called the Prime Minister. He needed a hero then in Roosevelt's Garret. He called him. Right? When his roof, just imagine, in the middle of a hurricane, in the middle of a hurricane bearing 200 miles an hour wind.
Yes.
Right? Your roof goes and you call the Prime Minister. You're calling the man in the middle of a hurricane because you need a hero now to save you. But this little child doesn't need a hero.
We are with our senior counsel on the line there. Senior counsel, good evening again. It's always a pleasure having you. I'm sure you heard the comments of the leader of the opposition there in relation to the Prime Minister being broken. And to him that was something he took pleasure in saying because obviously, senior counsel, your comments, I know you have some comments on that for sure.
Well, let me tell you, I called back because I really wanted to give the people a chance to call. But I called back for two things. One, you mentioned somebody talking about extrajudicial killing.
Yes.
Right? I'll get to that in a moment. And the second was Donnie's extraordinarily focused and sharp and correct response to the question about heartbroken. Because Donnie says, if you didn't have a heart, if you don't have a heart, you could never be heartbroken. If your primary responsibility as Prime Minister is to ensure all that can be done is being done, because he would probably have to authorize certain things that go beyond the ordinary budget to ensure that this child is brought back. And it struck me. I mean, if a man falls off your roof, my brother, is fixing your roof, and the man's in hospital, and people have been saying he never went once to visit the man, and there was a tape you played of him knocking some child down that disabled the child for the rest of his life, and you interviewed the mother or the aunt who says Linton never, ever, ever came to visit the child or offered anything to the child for the harm that he had caused to him in the accident.
Yes.
And I'm saying, well then, you obviously would never be concerned about a missing child. You obviously would not be concerned about a missing child. And Donnie's 100% correct when he says that if you don't have a heart, you could never be heartbroken. And the Prime Minister being heartbroken or sad or disappointed, whichever word you want to use, is a natural reaction of a father who is seeing a family who has a child just about a little older or a little younger than his three children, suffering. And the natural instinct of a parent is to be fully sympathetic and emotionally connected to the trauma which they're going through. I don't know who the child is. And every single morning, Simeon and Donnie, you know that on the group chat, I wake up in the morning, and my first question is, comrades, any update about the child?
Yeah, I see you send us frequently, yes.
Right? And if I don't get a response, I would call Donnie. And Donnie's response to me was always, has always been so far, unfortunately, no, comrade. So there's a connection there. I listened to the mother's call, the ladies' call in the early part of the show. And I wanted to hear more from them because I emphasize with their anger and their emotion and their condemnation of the United Workers' Party's casual, insensitive, brutal, cynical position and response to the child. They are more interested in making this fellow a matter talking about extrajudicial killings. Let me tell you right now, Simeon.
Yeah, go right ahead.
The police had the damn right to shoot him anywhere they wanted. If, as they say, and I accept every single word, they approached them with a cutlass. Right? The fact that they aimed for the legs, as the deputy commissioner said, tells you how responsible they were trying to be. But they didn't have to be. Because if you feel threatened, you are with somebody with a weapon that can cause you harm or kill you or hurt you, you have the right to defend yourself. And you don't have the right, you don't have an obligation to aim for the big toe. So the police made no blunder. They made no mistake. There's no extrajudicial killing because the police would also have known that this incident started when he attacked the child's father or stepfather and put him in the hospital. Okay, and they would have known precisely that. And the United Workers' Party have this sick, perverted, insane, evil view of this tragedy that all of us have been going through. Linton tried to ridicule the Prime Minister's call for public servants.
Yes. Yes.
But what the hell did he go there the first day to do?
Good question.
To pose? Civilians turned up. Donnie went. Ronald went. Others went. I don't know if you went, Simeon.
I was in the area, yes.
Oh, too many people around. Too many people around will scare them and they'll try to run away. But isn't that precisely what you want? A lot of people around so that you can see you or spot you and make you move from place to place? I mean, isn't that what you want? And isn't something else that you would want to have as many people in a large jungle-type, huge area between a number of residential areas and villages to cover it? You don't think 500 could search or have a greater coverage for the search than 100 or 10 or 5?
Of course, I mean, you have to bring in as many people as possible, you know.
I thought that's common sense. Especially now. Especially now that the threat to life and body and limb is now gone forever. Amen. Now is the time that we should have everybody in the bush looking for this girl.
Of course, of course.
I mean, these guys are on Q95. I heard the minister, senior minister talk. And they find the topic that best suits them is about dogs in the cabinet to go and look for the child.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're trivializing this thing and breaking it down in the political...
Doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists and politicians finding some way to ridicule the government who's making an attempt to save the life of a child. Simeon, how would you feel, or how would Donnie feel, or anybody feel? How would Linton feel if it was his daughter out there in the bush?
Well,
how many times
wonder.
do you think he would call Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit? You do not think he would want to go to the Prime Minister's office and talk to him?
Well, I have no doubt because when the Antiguan government figured they no longer wanted him there and they sent him back down here.
No,
He did not hesitate but to seek the assistance of Roosevelt Skerrit and yourself truly, even if we know that we were adversaries of his. He came because he was, according to him, you were the best.
Best lawyer. He found a hero in you then.
he did find a hero in me, and it was me he asked to speak to the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister Skerrit will tell you that I called him, and he, the Prime Minister, called Linton.
Right.
But let's put that aside for the moment. That's not the point I want to make.
Go right ahead, Essie.
If it was his daughter, or Danny Luge's daughter, or Matt Peltier's son or daughter in the bush there, right now, tonight, what do you think he would be doing? If it was Loftus Jura's daughter, or nephew, or niece, what do you think he would be saying? And if they had shot and killed in self-defense the abductor, and let's hope it's just an abductor of their child, what do you think they would call it, an extrajudicial killing? Is that what you think they would call it? Do you think that is what they would call it?
Not at
Let
all.
me tell you, these fellas are bastards. When the shoe is not on their foot, they sit in the studio, right, and talk a ton load of garbage and evil garbage, contaminated garbage for their silly supporters who suck it up. The Red Clinic was a cesspool of corruption for them until Sam Christian got sick. Right? The Citizenship and Investment Program was this and that until Mary Wong went with Lennox Linton to the Prime Minister to request to have her made an authorized agent, and she made Linton her local agent. And that's when he said the Citizenship and Investment Program is a good program. Those bastards never know what life is until he choose on the other foot, on their foot. And I don't want nobody come and tell me I call anybody a bastard, because you know what? If it was their child, Donnie, if it was their child, they would not be talking that garbage on Q95 and on Facebook.
Of course not.
If it was the abductor of their child, who they know has a mental problem, armed with a cutlass, what do you think they would have said to the Prime Minister? They would have probably said, why didn't he go in the bush too? I am extremely pissed off at this situation. I'm a father myself, albeit late in life. And I cannot wake up in the morning thinking of that child somewhere in the bush unless I try to find out what has happened to her. I'm not a politician. I am not looking to get elected to any position in the Commonwealth of Dominica. I'm not in Parliament. I have no obligation to anybody. But my heart goes out to the girl's family. Every single day I ask about her. Every single bloody day.
You do.
And to listen to Simeon talking about extrajudicial killings and blunder and all kind of things. And to hear Linton speak about trying to ridicule the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister went to Antigua after Hurricane Maria and broke down in tears because of the devastation caused to us, not to him, to us. We have to be very careful in this land of ours. We have to take this thing that we're doing called communication and education and the distribution of facts to the people very seriously. Because the same way you have people in the United States voting for these crazy Republicans on this big lie thing about the stealing of the election, there are people in our country who listen and accept what Linton says. And then he's aided and abetted by Gabriel Christian and Irvin Andre. who use their position as lawyers and judges to cast a spell of ignorance over the people of this country. And this is a classic example of opening a wound that these fellows have inflicted on our society, that they have people that want to glorify the boy who has caused harm to that child and to her family and make him into a hero and a martyr and a symbol of resistance for them. And never a word, nary a word about the child. No, man, fellas.
But see, you see, what struck me about Linton is how he tried to make a joke out of something so serious, so critical, not understanding how sensitive this is. I mean, obviously, I know he's not sensitive to people's plight when they're injured. There was a situation after Hurricane Maria when my friend there in Kenfield went to help his family, fell off his roof. The guy was seriously injured. And you know, I mean, if you hear the guy's story, obviously, Linton did not care whether the fella died or alive or what is his real situation right now. He doesn't really care. He has no heart to consider those factors. I mean, we heard from the lady from Maho who spoke about the injuries he gave to this child. He never showed a sense of... So, I mean, you know, when I bring all of this in the context of what he's saying now by trying to not understand why the Prime Minister or any citizens of this country would be so broken by such a situation, tells me how he's not sensitive towards these issues, yes.
Look, I mean, we're talking about a man that has no soul. Linton went into the courtroom on 2 occasions and lied on oath. Cottle found him to be a liar. Justice Brooks, whatever her name is, Brooks Stevenson, found him to be a liar. The Privy Council caught him in a lie. This is a man that went on CBS to talk about diplomatic passports, well known Edison James for spending diplomatic passports in 2005, citizenship by investment program to Chris Kalen in 2009, and then he get catch in 2019. You expect nothing from you can expect nothing but garbage from a garbage bin. Yes. Right? And this is only aggravating the contempt I have for them, the complete disrespect I have for the leadership of the United Workers' Party and fellows like Gabriel and Irwin, who are giving sustenance to that dishonesty. You know, and talking crap about violence caused by poverty. I don't want to get into that tonight. I heard Lloydie say I will deal with it.
Yes.
But we have the highest level of unemployment and we have the highest level of employment and the greatest reductions of poverty in our history. And poverty does not drive people to sexually assault children or women. You will hear stories in other parts of the world about women selling their children for money. But that's not what we have. No. That's not what we have in Dominica. We have a situation where an unstable person, who one of your callers said has been terrorizing the villages, including in Roseau, clashes. The stepfather grabs the girl, takes the girl, and goes away in the bush with her. And the parents of the boy are making him sound like the victim, saying about he took the child for comfort. I mean, what is it? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? And they put that on Q95, and people called on the show. And not a word about the child. There's a child out there, Simeon and Donnie.
Yes.
11 or 12 years old. God knows what condition she's in. Alone in the dark.
Man.
Picture your child.
Man, I tell you.
Out there.
It is a sad
You don't know what condition she's in. You don't know where she is. You don't know what she can do. You don't know what harm or what further harm can be caused to her. And these guys have done sweet nothing to help. No call to arms, as one of the women said, no boots on the ground. Let's show some civil responsibility for the first time in our goddamn life and go in the bush and look for the child.
The senior counsel, just one point. While these guys criticize the Prime Minister because he had his birthday party, they never stopped their nonsensical march every Wednesday, you know.
No.
They never did. Why people are out there braving the bushes to help for a child? These guys are in town, or they with Mary God Portsmouth walking, being nuisances in the middle of the day. Come on, man.
You know, it's just the same way in the United States. People are going to have to live with the scourge and the legacies of the contamination of Trump. We are going to have to live with the contamination of Lincoln, Edison, James, and the United Workers' Party. But what we must never do, Donnie, what we must never allow to happen is we drop our guard with complacency and allow these guys to run roughshod over the country. Because every single major event that has taken place, they show the true color. After Erica, what did they do? They were made part of a collective government, of a government by committee. And all they wanted was tea, top-up, coffee, and food. Prime Minister had to kill it. And I remember when it happened, and I said, my God, what happened? But that's Roosevelt's character. He always reaches out on the other side. Maria came. Lincoln stood up there and said, partners, don't come to me for help. I am not going to ask for help, because going to ask for help is like going to the fishmonger's market. I'm going to get dirty up and stink up trying to help you. During COVID, what have they done? Spreading vile misinformation about the virus and about the vaccine. And their senator saying, don't come to us for help during COVID. Don't come to us to help for during COVID. You didn't give the mandate to us. And here is the Prime Minister coming back from overseas, taking charge to make sure the resources are put in place to save a child's life. And that's a big joke for them. It's a big joke for them. I'm going to say it again. If it was their child, it's the same thing with the United States. Republicans don't want gun control. Wait until one of them get killed or their children get killed. It will change. Same thing with these fellas. If it was their child, their daughter, 11, 12 years old, that was snatched from a veranda by a madman with a cutlass, what would they say? What would they say? Scare it, go in the bush. They would not be talking the crap they're talking now on radio and on Facebook, my brother.
Tell you, brother.
Simeon,
thank you again.
Well, I'm sorry I called back, right?
No need to be sorry, I see. I mean, you obviously weighed in an important aspect of our discussion here tonight.
This is a major... When I see our people behaving the way these fellas behave, it gets me angry, because it means that these people are so evil and so cold and so insensitive, they don't give a damn about the child. So long as they can exploit an ounce of flesh, political flesh, or a gallon of blood. Life means nothing to them except if it's theirs. Except if it's their life and their family that's in the problem. That's when it becomes, my dear Prime Minister, do you mind helping me because of A, B, and C? But because his child is not theirs, but some farmer, some elderly, some poor person stepchild, some pastor stepchild, they don't care. And I don't understand how politicians like these fellas cannot care about a child. They want boots on the ground. They want to have marches. You couldn't have a march in the bush. You want to talk you have this clown there, Afrimat, they're talking about sexual assault marches. You couldn't have a march for missing child in the bush. and give me a goddamn break. Fellas, take care.
Yes, I see. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know why I tell you, boy, time fly by so quickly. Got to leave a little earlier tonight because, I have some other taking. But let's just take this call there before we take off there. On the overseas line, there, call. Good evening to you.
Good night, Simeon. This is DJ, original DJ Chappie. I've been listening, as I called Daryl earlier on in the week. I've been listening to you. And Daryl and Ron, and our heart is going out to the missing princess. And it has been hurting our hearts. You hear me, right, Simeon?
Yeah, me and you loud and clear, yes.
Yeah. It has been going out, our heart is aching so bad right now. Literally, my blood pressure, my wife's blood pressure has gone up just because of the pain that we are, going through, thinking and worrying about the missing princess. And it's not only us alone. You have other Dominicans and neighboring islands from the Caribbean that are listening to what's going on in Dominica. And they're not only listening about the missing child, they're also listening to Lennox Lincoln. I don't think this man has a heart, all right? And it burns me so bad, and besides that, let's give Emo News her praise because she has been on the ground. She has been doing what she has been doing to help out, as a human being. And some of UWP followers has been doing something. This Jackie, some of them have been doing some good stuff on the ground. But when you have people in authority, like this dude in authority, and he's playing party politics, and he's saying the prime minister is playing party politics, it hurts because it's a lie. He's the one playing party politics because when these people should be marching on Wednesday saying to the police, please, let us go search for the child. What are they going to the police to do? They're talking about, what is it they went and march for? Peace and prosperity. Dominica has only peace and prosperity. I don't mind they were saying peace and prosperity for Ukraine. That is in war right now, Simeon. But Dominica is in a state where a little child, Simeon, think about it. Right now outside there in Connecticut, it's raining. It's cold. In the summer, it's cold.
Yes.
That child don't have any water. Simeon, it's hurting me, man. That child don't have any water to drink right now, man. 3 days. If a person don't get any water to drink, that person could expire. 3 days. So right now, that child life is on speaking tongue down, man. And this man is on the other side talking some BS right now, and saying the prime minister doing this and the prime minister playing politics, man. Lennox Lincoln, I know you, man. You should be better than that, dude. If you're hearing me, you should be better than that. You should follow steps like Emo News. She's on the ground doing something, okay? This other guy that Fighter Jones, he's doing something. What are you doing as a person, as a human being? You understand? My blood pressure is going up. My wife's blood pressure is going up. Everybody's blood pressure is going up because a child is missing. And then that child has got no water to drink. 3 days.
11 days.
We need help right now to look at that little baby out there, man. And then you talking about the prime minister is playing party politics. Dude, give it a rest. Give it a rest, man. Listen, there's something I will say. There is 99 days for the thief, but 1 day for the police. The truth always reveals itself. And don't worry, the prime minister, as Fireman say, he is the world boss. No matter what you do, you cannot erase good from where good is ordained. But guess what? If you are top up, you will stay a top up. You'll be waiting for your people to top you up. But guess what? Your people won't top you up no more, man. Simeon,
yes, sir.
A few days left. Let us look for this child, and it's hurting me.
Yeah,
all
man.
right? So
Feel your pain, brother.
To really focus right now, all right?
Indeed.
Have a good night.
Thank you again there. Yes, Donny, no doubt it is a critical time. We got to come to an end to this discussion tonight. But, we heard, let's play again the Commissioner of Police there, be the Deputy Commissioner before we leave here tonight. Important message being sent out there. Let's go right. to that statement there by the Deputy Commissioner.
The search for Kenisha Etienne by the police has been relentless from the day she was abducted from her home by Kian Alexander on the 7th of June, 2022. At about 3:15 p.m. on the 18th of June, 2022, while searching in the Brook Hill estate, a police patrol team encountered Kian armed with a cutlass about 3 feet long. The police attempted to apprehend him. He charged at the police with a cutlass. The police took action to subdue him by shooting at his legs. The police took immediate action to render first aid. During that time, he said certain things to the police as to the possible whereabouts of Kenisha Etienne. As a result, the search has been intensified in the area to find Kenisha Etienne. The ambulance and the district medical officer were summoned, and he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. We are soliciting all able-bodied people to assist the police with the search for Kenisha Etienne. I wish to commend all the officers and members of the public who have been relentless in searching for Kenisha. We also wish to commend the public for the trust and confidence in the police. Our main focus has been and remains the safe return of Kenisha Etienne to her family. Thank you.
Yes, again, there you heard it from the Deputy Police Commissioner. They are certainly speaking to what the main focus is right now. It is to be able to find this child wherever she is. The search continues, people. The police is asking the public to join in making this possible. And as you know, we are in a critical state now. And the kidnapper is no longer there. Of course, there is no threat again in the forest. Like I felt earlier on, I was concerned when the civilians were out there in the bush searching and not the police, and you are not armed, and you are being approached by a dangerous person like we know this guy really was. So no doubt that part is over, and now is the time when, if you are able to join in making that such possible. The prayer warriors who are praying, continue the prayers. But Donnie, it is a crucial time as we wrap up tonight. It is a crucial time now to get this child wherever she is. We heard from this lady earlier who said that her experiences led her to 40 days until they were able to find her granddaughter. Obviously, we do not want to go 40 days because this is a critical time now. If she's alive, that we can bring her back home. And obviously, all effort need to be made at this point to really comb these areas where this guy was identified over the last few days in order to make sure we can bring her home. Donnie, your closing remarks and, of course, as we make our exit here tonight.
Yes, Simeon, thank you very much, my friend, for having me share your studio with you tonight. It's my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you to all the listeners and the callers who called in to contribute, those who follow on Facebook and who listen on the radio, at home and abroad. We appreciate it. And all I will say is tonight, Simeon, there's a 12-year-old precious little girl somewhere out there who is longing, who is waiting to be rescued. She's longing and waiting to hear voices. She's longing for somebody, some hands to pick her up. She may be thirsty, she may be hungry, she may be hurt, she may be bruised. She's obviously emotionally traumatized from all this. And we have to make every effort. Now is the time for us to unite, right? And put aside all our differences and all of this political bickering. And let's go find and save this precious little baby. Right? Like Senior comes to say, just imagine if that was your child. What you'd be going through right now. Right? We have to share the pain of our parents and our friends and our family. Okay? And now is the opportunity. With the madman out of the way, this child is waiting to be rescued. Let's go find her. Good night, everybody.
Thank you again, Donnie. Always a pleasure having you, and thank you for joining me. And let me say thank you to all the folks who called into tonight's program. Those of you who do not call, but you always listen, thank you for listening. It's always a pleasure. and the folks on the Carrier FM Facebook page. Thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure having you all, and of course, reading your comments as well. It is a critical time in the country right now where we have to find this child, and so we really call on everyone. Send this call out on every able person tomorrow to give a helping hand. Moving forward, of course, with the police as well, in trying to ensure that we can bring this child back home. Again, God continue to guide and protect our political leader in this country as we continue on our effort to develop Dominica. Thank you again. It's always a pleasure doing this program for you. My name is Simeon Albert. We got to leave now, and I look forward to being back here with you on Tuesday, where we will continue the discussion. In the meantime, do have a wonderful night rest, and God continue to bless you and bless our country and guide us into finding this child wherever she is hidden by this guy who is now deceased. God bless you again. Have a wonderful night. We shall not be moved.
Blended by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. That's it. Everybody, put up something red, wave it over your head. All of them forget the current people. Labour stepping, they want to cause trouble. For the Kalinagos had no respect, exploiting them on the water project. Superior Scotted used to ball to Labour to build their seawall. Giro, they would have to back it. Water tank on Labour fix it. Whether you teacher, leader, elder, must give credit to Labour. You better believe it. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Look out for we five-star hotel, highway to Posse as well, seaport reconstruction, rosary modification. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Chance up. Inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Just something red, wave them over your head. Some will never see the importance to give up for people assistance. So they have a problem with the clinic. Make sure stay they want to block it. Imagine they get in office, what would be the wicked practice? It's for people who put you there. At all time you got to show you care. The party in a working mood, don't interrupt that move. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The government helping squatters to get their land and quarters, helping people. Some of you have an issue. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. You better know inshallah, no question, inshallah, no question, inshallah. Everybody, raise up something red, wave that over your head. Indeed, it is first time in our history people get medical for free. 18 and under and over 65. You shall never be deprived. Big focus on human resource, people well-being's compass, universal education, scholarship and transportation. What the selfless party would reverse our country. Yeah. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Oh, but what a brilliant stadium. The bridge and road all around. Improvement on all road networks. Airport beauty is no joke. We shall not be. We shall not be moved. Just like the that's planted by the waters. Labour Party shall not be moved. Everybody, Janta, Jala, Westin, Jala, Westin, Jala. Put up something head, rip it over your head. Hey, hey, everybody, Jala, Westin, Jala, Jala, Westin, Jala. Hey, not white, not red, not yellow, not blue. Hey, let me see you shoot. Let me see you shoot. Show me how well you do. Jala, Westin, Jala. Raise up to me right. Wave it over your head. Everybody! Jala, Westin, Jala. Jala, Westin, Jala.